Friday night football, the opening bounce for season 2000. West Coast won the toss. They kick to the right of screen. Capuano and Gardner. Banfield gets his hands on it. First one. And the first kick of the match coming from Philip Reid to half forward, and Mitchell White's got it in front of Archer.
He was just too strong on that occasion, and Glenn Archer tried to fool the umpire looking for the free kick, but if he didn't take the mark, the free kick would certainly have gone to Mitchell White.
Strong body, Mitchell White, and I mean Glenn Archer's your 5'11 and a half, plays a lot taller than that, but there is a limit to how much he can do. He just was unable to counteract the size difference in that situation.
It's a good kick off the boot. It looks good. That's a great start.
Well, they spot that one through. You almost expected to see Mitchell White line up at the other end, but they've gone with Djokovic on Gehrig at the other end of the ground. That frees up Mitchell White to play at centre half forward. And interesting to note too, the Ken Judge is pushing everybody out. Kemper's come to the centre of the half-forward line on the back of the square there, and he's got a lot of space around him, Mitchell White, when that ball came down. Straight kick up there, and look, very easy to miss him from there, Bung, when you're looking at Jason, when you're looking there. Old habits die hard, mate.
Well, I think we've got a 5 inside the square against West Coast there.
Capuano, McKernan the target. Jim Metropolis showed a bit of heart there to get back under the pump and take the mark. So having a look in front of Metropolis. Perfect kick in the end, in short. Gets to Embley. Embley off, still following them through. Again, you can see what Metropolis had in front of him. Kicks to centre half forward. Archer makes a contest. Then on hands and knees, gets it out. Little kick away. Came from Motlop.
Oh, good spoil.
Harvey read it well. Carey got a bad bounce, got rid of Djokovic. Might have been a bit lucky, Carey there. Ball still to be run. Winnie's got it. Squeezes it. It's going to be close. McKernan's got to kick a goal. Oh, it's a goal.
He has dead set had an air swing with his natural foot there. That is just one of the most amazing goals you'll ever see. He's tried to pick it up virtually in the same motion as kicking the ball. He has missed it. And in the process of running over top of the ball, the trailing leg has kicked the ball through for a goal. Have a look at this on replay after we just saw Kerry getting rid of Djokovic. Abraham Winnie just getting the quick beat of the ball now. He has a quick kick, just tried to tap it onto the boot, missed it with his right leg and caught it with the left.
Great shot here too, isn't it? Have a look at this. Bang. They all count at the end of the day, don't they?
Oh, it doesn't matter how you kick them as long as they go through, Bruce, even if you don't know you've kicked it.
See the footage there of Big McKernan. He's already got the nose plugged up. I don't know whether he might have had a bit of blood there in a warm-up.
Free kick, surely. It's a grand advantage given to Harvey. Carey went early. Morrison round the body. Left foot wanting the line, I think, and might get it. Kanga's out there in a hurry. Blakey in his 300th. Ridden down to the back by Wapunda, out of play.
I tell you what, he is a very exciting player, David Rapunda, and the great thing about him is when he has to, he can make up ground very late. His acceleration is incredible.
Interchange there for the Roos. Simpson. Motlop to full forward. McIntosh and Carey. Gehrig's handball was good. Gets it to Djokovic. Tucks it under his arm on his left side. Gets it to half-back. Man in front takes the mark. McKernan can thump the ball, as we know. Decides to handball inboard. A little surprisingly. Goes to Grant. Goes to Pickett. Wanted to load up. Decides not to. Goes to Winnie at half-forward. McKenna's with him. McKenna. Still a ball loose. Cousins clever. Back turn. Bad handball. Bill. Big kick coming in from Lang. Going and going all the way. It's a goal.
Well, that is just, he's just unloaded off one step, Adam Lang. That is a tremendous kick, and it'll do his confidence the world of good. I just thought it was the wrong option when they kicked wide. And Winston Abraham led to the ball. McKenna spoiled, went early, caught the arms. But have a look at that off one step. Controlled the ball beautifully. And he's kicked at 55.
Reason for that goal, the pressure kick that came out of the back line from the Eagles. We had Gardner on this side of the ground, wouldn't work over to meet up with McKernan.
Well, a surprising source to get the goal from Lang, but it was a terrific finish. The Kangaroos have bounced back after the Mitchell White goal in the opening minute. Banfield out of the set. He's going to be an important player. Running hard was Rintoul, and he took the mark. Outside 50. The handball was a bit hot for Cousins, and King's onto him in a hurry. Cousins can't get rid of it effectively, and he's gone.
Well, Rintoul's big go as he just barges in, but when you put him under real heat, through the traffic. He just thinks a little bit slow on occasions.
So behind King here, having a look.
It's not unfolding for him, is it? Yep, there we go. There's not a real solid lead on offer there from the North Melbourne, the Kangaroos team further afield. And the Eagles repel it pretty easy.
Peter Matera to his brother Phil. Scott with him. Hooks back. They've got numbers here, the Eagles. Huge flight at the back. Free kick, I think, going to the Kangaroos, and the advantage is given. McCartney got the free kick. He's lined up on Cummings. So King's away at half-back. He's had plenty of time. He's had a couple of bounces. He's able to get the ball to centre wing to Simpson, but Morrison played it well. Inside. Gardner, danger kick, but he's got him. Gardner in the heart of the centre square. Quickly on. West Coast are playing on at all costs at the moment. Kicks to centre half forward. Archer, that's not taken. Went to ground. Wide over the top. Play on called. Archer in hard. Pickett goes off the ground. It gets towards Abraham. Abraham's little give was clever. Cut off by Grant. Grant goes back. Now to Calthorpe. Little one round the body. Doesn't get it far. Rintoul's got it.
The Eagles players up forward are trying to second-guess the kicker coming down at them. We see them here. They go long into the channel here. Kangaroos got numbers there. They're going to defend through Capuano. They get the numbers out wide here.
Pickett gets it from Grant and then strides away and kicks a long bomb. The paddock set up. Carey, the long way out. Rintoul getting his hands on it early. Good kick. Gehrig.
Got to stay down on those. Came up too easily there, Gehrig.
Abraham, Calthorpe, back to Wapunda, dropped it. Play on called. Peter Matera, it's a hot footy. 60 metres, now 40 metres from goal. Capuano front spot.
Yeah, the Eagles forwards, the ball will come in from one way and they're relying on the ball carrier to look up, have great vision and turn it around to the other side of the ground. They're trying to make the kicker do all the good work. They just need to work hard and lead out to the open side and work harder than their opponents.
Terrific kick for Bell to find Grant, and Grant's on to set a half forward to Carey. Getting across was McKenna. Still hasn't quite got it. Has it now. Handball's okay. Banfield, that was clever. Well done. To Morrison on the burst. Morrison to half forward. Good kick. Out wide, Embley's got it. 80, 90 metres from goal. Goes to the pocket. Wants Philip Matera. Scott with him.
He's going to have no room there, Scotty Cummings. Matera actually leading through there and blocking up any room for Scotty Cummings. And with McCartney...
I'll tell you what, Derm, just have a look at the Kangaroos forward line. Not a person in the attack 50. They certainly do push up. They're relying on McKernan and Carey to take marks around half forward, and the rest of them will flood in with the ball.
Well, McIntosh and Djakovic are swapped because of that now. If Carey's the last one on the chain, McIntosh goes with him.
Can they get it now? Metropolis, McIntosh, so a very important ball to be won from West Coast point of view. Djakovic never really took control. Grant's handball was okay. The kick around the body coming from Simpson. McKernan's fly was spectacular to Blakey. Inboard, came from Harvey to Grant. Grant to half foot. Wapunda belted away, went the wrong way, but it was a good play. Skill under the heat. Calthorpe got rid of him. Abraham was terrific to Clayton. Clayton's hooked it.
Have a look at Shannon Grant going off. He was inside, all on his own, 40 metres out, virtually directly in front. He just didn't have the vision to find him. Good
signs for the Eagles here. They're willing to work back from their midfield and block up the avenue for Carey to lead in, block up the avenues for the other peripheral type players to move up the ground to the ball carrier. So they're willing to work back pretty hard. Ken Judge traded that one too. He's just going to make it difficult for them to score.
Gardner was the flyer. Blakey in his 300 to Pickett. A bit off the side and very wide. Harvey ran hard and took a good mark. Comes inboard. He's got Clayton. He's going to find him.
It's a good run by Clayton. He actually was in the zone on this side of the ground. So he's led about 60 metres right through the traffic area and found that channel through there, ran right through there and well picked up there by Harvey.
He's been working hard for the last 5 minutes, Shane Clayton. He's basically been coming off the wing, and every time the attacking 50 is open, he's the player that takes off behind the leading players, trying to catch them running back towards goal.
Not an easy shot.
Does kick it with his instep occasionally.
Disappointed. So he's kicked a couple of behinds.
Be nice.
There's Mickey Malthouse, who Must have a lot going through him at the moment watching this.
Yep.
He gave so much to the club and they gave a lot to him too.
Yeah, well, he's seeing men out there who he had as boys, isn't he?
Those famous flags in 92 and 94 where they break new ground. First teams outside of Victoria to win the premiership. Rintoul. Kick to the centre. Gehrig. Good mark. That was strong against Lang. Little give. They are playing on at all costs here. And Banfield kicks to Cummings on the lead.
That's what Scotty Cummings has to get. He has to get them out in front. And what actually happened there, Matera played further back on when the lead was affected. He was out of the way, and Scotty Cummings led with confidence.
I'll tell you what, they're making a real effort to keep the ball in the centre corridor, the Eagles.
Yep.
And one thing you've got to do when you're playing on Cummings is you've got to play in front. He's not going to mark over the top of you. He's going to lead on it.
How important this first kick for him tonight, Jason?
Well, we know how much of a confidence player he is. He's the sort of player that if he gets his tail up, he can damage you all night. But if he drops the head, it really does have an impact on his game.
It's a good kick, isn't it? It's straight through.
They're looking all right. Looking all right, the Eagles, and looks like Scotty Cummings, he's just coming out to Fraser Gehrig and saying, well done.
Gee, that's more than a pat on the head. He's nearly assaulted him there, doing it at half forward.
He's come in for a bit of a pasting over the last couple of years from the Eagles supporters, but that was one solid clunk in the hands, wasn't it? One grabber.
It's interesting to see whether he can find enough space to lead into, because Mitchell White is playing behind the traditional centre-half forward position, and he's also got Philip Matera next to him.
So 2-2 to 2 goals, 14 to 12 on this warm, balmy night in Melbourne. Crowd around about 25 to 30,000. Capuano, a bit too easy that time. Simpson, well, high tackle against Gardner. Simpson plays on quickly to half forward. Carey and Djakovic. Djakovic and Carey. Gee, we've said that a few times over the years.
See the way that Carey tried to throw him off for the second effort. Djakovic has the strength to stand up through that, and that's why they've got the ball forward.
Peter Matera was sensational then. Kemps kicks a good one. And Cummings again. Can he kick this from here, Jason?
One of Scotty Cummings' strength is his range in kicking. 55 metres by drop punt is not a problem for this fellow. And after kicking his first one, he'll fancy his chances from here. I
know the flags way up on top are showing that will travel left to right, but it swirls down there a bit. You've almost got to hit it to the near goal post. I would say if he kicks this one, try and get out to McCartney and say you've got a lot of confidence in him, but I'd just about make the move right now rather than let... It's more about Scotty Cummings as an opposition coach keeping his confidence down.
So right goalpost, you think, for Cummings is a way to go?
I think he gets a bit of right to left normally.
It's a good kick. It's where you said. It's very close. It's a great kick. It's a goal. Cummings has got 2. And the Eagles have got 3, and they have looked efficient when they've gone forward in the last couple of minutes, haven't they?
They certainly have. Now, we saw Cummings get his first goal through a lead and a set kick, and when they lined up the next centre bounce, Jason McCartney actually stood 5 metres in front of him, but as soon as it went back to general play, he went back and stood next to him, and then we saw the quick kick come around the corner from Kemp and found Cummings in the lead again.
Well, like a horse that can't get it at the line, McCartney's head was bobbing up and down. Lacked pace there.
Dipper, there's been a bit on the telephone from the Kangaroos.
Yeah, the Kangaroo bench has already been used 5 times. Shannon Graham, Byron Picker straight off the ground, straight on the phone and back on the ground.
Thanks, Dipper. Gardner this time wins. Cousins, left foot to centre half forward. Archer put a foot out. It was effective. He just pushed it forward. Pickett's handball to a bit of space. Grant on the end of it just chips it up. Abraham's got it now. He's such a long kick. He can get almost to McKernan here, and that's where he's going to do. It's a great kick. Gives McKernan a half chance at the back. The Eagles player in front was courageous. Peter Matera round the body. The race is on. Calthorpe and Cousins. Calthorpe won it to Pickett. Pickett off one step. Oh, I think he might have just kept it in. Steve-O's got it. Anthony Stevens. Play on call. Kicks the centre half forward. McKernan's got it.
Carey's one out.
Harvey may go now. Now to the king. Djakovic with him. Wrong kick, really. Gave Djakovic a chance. Carey uses his bottom to get rid of Djakovic. Bell still with a chance. Could kick a goal here, Bell. Misses.
I'm enthralled by this Carey-Djakovic battle already. It's almost like Wayne's just getting on sharp, hard leads, and he's going for straight-line leads, but other than that, he wants to body. Djakovic is suited to that. He's just got to start bending the lead on Djakovic, take him off the line, which he sets off on, and Djakovic has just got the body that he can stand up with him.
Unfortunately, the first 2 leads that Carey's put in have been given pretty ordinary kicks.
Yeah.
McIntosh did well to Cousins. As you saw a moment ago, it's been a long time since the Eagles have beaten the Kangaroos in Melbourne. Not a good kick. Carey's first real touch to Kemp. Kemp just did well there to hold him up. To Blakey, found some space, bangs to the goal front. McKenna getting back. All set, waited, it's a goal. Can you believe that?
What was he thinking?
Well, that is very disappointing, particularly when it comes from your skipper. I mean, when that ball was going to bounce, there was no guarantee it wasn't going to go towards goals. I think McKenna had to commit himself and dive and smother the ball at that particular time. He backed off hoping for it to sit up.
I reckon he's played the career percentage there. You lose your feet, and more times than not, you're going to get done.
Yeah, have a look at this. Oh, yeah. Dermot.
He's thought there, I'll keep my feet. That's the career percentage.
No chance of that bouncing up into his hands. He had to go at it.
Well, Ken Judge, probably like us, couldn't believe it.
I reckon he's just querying the thought process there.
3-3 to 3 goals. High scoring encounter early. Capuano. Morrison cuts it off. Broke the tackle. Got some distance on the left. But reading it well was King off half-back.
The centre-backs tap-outs, every one of them so far, well, not one of them has gone more than about, I'd say, 2 foot outside the centre circle. It's really in and under stuff at the moment.
King to Capuano, Gardner. Gehrig, Wapunda. He's got a bit of time. Oh, took too long. Carey was very good.
That was the fault of the forwards up the ground there, Bruce. I watched the Eagles forwards. Nobody gave a lead, and he had to hold on to the ball, waiting for it to unfold. Carey read it, smother.
Bell to Simpson. Has some time to set it up. Long high bum. The Twin Towers, Carey, and also McKernan. Bluey read that one okay. Sits, waits.
Could have blazed away out this side.
To Gehrig. Precision. To Cousins. They are playing on when they can. To Kemp.
Always looking to come inboard as well. Gardner standing in the centre square calling for Kemp, but he just took his time.
Kemp, one of 4 Norm Smith medalists out there tonight. Gardner, big mark in the heart of the centre square. Plays on. He's had to come a long way around. It's awkward as a poor kick in the end.
It's going over.
They need a bounce. Cummings. Oh, might have been hurt there. White. Might be his fingers or something. Ball coming wide.
I reckon he's been clipped on the run through there.
Grant. Missed by Cowthorpe. Got rid of him there. Did Fletcher onto the ground. Kick only as far as Bell. Has been busy early.
Got to change direction here. He'll look to go across. Archer will take it. He can slow it up now, but he'll just wait for King to get on the lead up the ground. Pretty obvious here. Now King will go past the kick here to Blakey. This is where Carey's so important. If he plays too close to goal, a static start like this, you have to have a centre-half forward who can offer a valuable lead here. Here it comes.
To Carey there. We saw White bleeding a moment ago. He'll have to come from the ground when they find him. McKenna to McIntosh. Wide to Metropolis. Ball in.
He's been clipped with a knee on the run-through, I reckon.
There it is.
Just clipped him with the top of the knee.
They never look much when you see them on action replay. You think, oh, that's just glanced him, but it's opened him up and drawn blood, and I can assure you that did hurt.
Kicked the opening goal tonight, so he'll be patched up. Such a valuable player, isn't he, to the Eagles? His versatility is important, and his height and strength. It's
a pity he had that knee injury. I rated him very, very strongly. I thought he would have been like in the top 4 centre-half forwards in the league before that knee injury. He's a lot bigger man than you give him credit for. He's a big fella.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting watching Djakovic and McIntosh swapping on Carey. When Carey goes back closer to goal, McIntosh will take him.
Jim Watson plays at Colonial on Sunday night.
Andy Collins and Matty Armstrong with him.
Yep. They play against the Swans. The Saints coach, Jim Watson. Blakey getting a few kicks early and a goal in his 300th. Metropolis. It was a tough ball. Gehrig had a wild swipe with his non-preferred foot. Steve-O was strong there, Anthony Stevens. Back, little kick forward by Harvey. That's typical of the Kangaroos. They push forward at every opportunity, and Blakey was on the end of it.
Lang's doing very well. He's dragging Gehrig away from the opposition forward line. Consequently, takes a danger away there, and he turns him around a bit here. He's done well, Blakey, to read that one. Get forward of the play.
He's very good, John Blakey, because whilst he does a job most of the time, he does know when to break forward.
He doesn't kick with a lot of penetration. You look at that left shoulder from where the target is, he just pulls it back, and he pulls a lot of them left.
35 players before him had played 300, and he played 135, Blakey, at Fitzroy, and now in his 165th.
Great story, isn't it?
Terrific. Gardner to Cousins.
Oh, it's on here.
On the burst. Here's a chance, isn't it? To Reed. Looks up.
Matera has spoiled it here.
Got it.
Oh, lucky. He had to get that one because Scotty Cummings looked at that open space, licked his chops, and next thing he saw Peter Matera filling it up.
Peter Matera had come on a long lead. He'd really come from the other side of the ground, right through the space in front of Scotty Cummings. And he was quite free, but it had to be a very good kick in the end.
Yep, and I can only imagine what one portly number 19 at Hawthorn would have said if somebody had to run through his space like that.
I would have said, would you mind vacating the immediate area, please, Peter?
Important kick now.
Saw him kick 7 against the Bombers here one night on a Friday night when he basically won the match.
Beautiful kick, wasn't he?
He's got it.
He's a quality player.
It's interesting at the end of the night how it lines up. Cummings has kicked one really good goal, and so's Matera. A couple of misses at the other end, Blakey and Clayton. It adds up in the end, doesn't it?
Oh, it certainly does.
You've got to take your hat off to the Eagles at the moment. Their goals are coming from marks inside 50. You see when teams struggle, they scrap out goals. But the Eagles at the moment are finding targets up forward. They're getting on the end of the lead, and it is a systematic approach to scoring. They're doing pretty well up forward of the centre.
Isn't it interesting to see the changing game of Peter Matera? Peter Matera used to work down back, go on the long runs forward. Now he starts pushing forward, looking to get the ball there and kick the goals.
Let's have a look at this tap out now. The ball is just dropping very, very close to the feet of the ruckman. Once again, Kemp on it.
Read it well, didn't he, and kicks to half forward. Gehrig, I thought Lang had it first. Gehrig's going to claim it. He's within range here, Gehrig. He's a thumping kick.
He gives him a ride, doesn't he? I reckon that's Lang's go. He's got to take him up the ground as soon as the Kangaroos get possession, because he's just worrying him here. He's a very strong man, Gehrig. He's very tall.
That's a good stretch to take that out in front.
Well, can he make it 5 straight?
He's just asked inquired there from the umpire, where's the mark?
Very sensible. If you don't know where it is, don't take a punt. You're entitled to ask the umpire.
Perfect night for long kicks for goal. No
look
breeze
at
at all.
that is a beauty.
It's a great kick, isn't it?
He's put that over the fence.
5 out of 5, and 3 of them have been half chances. Cummings, Gehrig and Matera.
I think that's the important thing. If you're not going to get as much ball as the opposition up forward, you've got to maximise your output when you do go forward. Kemp's been very good in the middle of the ground. He's starting to win a few of the hard balls, and that's twice that a player has been found in front from his quick kicks.
I reckon you'll find this time that somebody will maybe run next to Kempy at the bounce down. That's just a little bit easy. That's pretty well copybook stuff there. Gardner will jump again. He'll probably try and stick it down on his left hip again, Gardner.
8 points the margin. Let's see what happens. Didn't quite get it. Kemp was there. Banfield's quick kick to half forward. Pickett took a chance. Kemp was good.
Beautiful.
Very good. And then goes to Cummings, lace out.
Great hit. That is the hardest thing to do. The traffic flow with Kemp is flowing to the outside of the ground, and when you're on your non-dominant side, to actually kick it, and you almost hit it with your instep, you have to really work hard not to actually scrub the kick inboard, but make it spin right, put it out on a bit of lead, give it a bit of chase, and let the bloke run into it. That is a quality kick.
Gee, I hope we see Dean Kemp stay injury-free this year. He's very exciting. Just as we were commenting on how impressive the little kick up to himself was, he still had a trump card up his sleeve. That was the left-footed kick across his body to the leading Cummings. He is brilliant.
I guarantee you he'll get a bit of a harder tag in the next 5 minutes.
Really should kick this, Cummings. It looks good. They've kicked 6 straight and he's got 3. Gee, Jason, 3 goals for a full forward. 3 shots, 3 goals in the opening term. It's the best way to start a match, isn't it?
He couldn't have wished for anything better.
He's finding space up the middle, isn't he, Scotty Cummings?
He's done well, but I tell you what, ever since Mitchell White went off, he's starting to lead straight up the corridor because that's where the space is. Mitchell White...
He was playing 5 metres back inside the forward 50, Mitchell, wasn't he?
Well, speaking of Mitchell White, I think he's not far away. What is Mitchell White's situation, Dipper?
He's all patched up, boys. He's about to come back on the ground, so we'll just see if he gets in Scotty Cummings' way now.
So there's a terrific start from the Eagles.
Well, Gardner went for that left hip again. Kemp came the right-hand side of him and he threw Banfield into that zone. It's worked for them.
Fletcher to Williams to Wapunda, out wide. Philip Matera Still with Philip Matera. Has to keep his nut over the ball. Back to Reid. Besieged by Kangaroos left, right and centre. Ball up.
There's a bit of traffic in there, isn't there? That's where you get the real quality players can work it into that area. If you can win that type of ball, I mean, you're worth your weight in gold. Yeah, it was very clever by Kempy there. He put one of his teammates into that left hip zone of Gardner. He ran the other side because he knew he was getting a bit of heat then. Worked it out pretty well.
Gee, Lang went early on Gehrig, and it'll be a free kick, I think.
Gone the other way.
Other way, isn't it?
Yep.
For shepherding against Gehrig, wasn't it?
Here we go. Ah, yeah, he's blocked it. He could have got away with that if he didn't look at him when he turned his back on him. Archer's freed up here. No solid lead, though. They're just static, the North Melbourne Kangaroos forward line at the moment. They're relying on winning by being just one out and bigger men.
Gee, Blakey's been good in this opening term.
Confrontation.
McIntosh and McKernan. Djakovic there. They had the numbers, West Coast, didn't they? Confidence with Djakovic. Good, strong handball to Morrison. There's a lot of good signs here.
They're on.
McIntosh to Gardner. Move it quickly. Handball was a beauty. Over the top to Williams. Williams goes to half forward. Not a good kick. That spoils it, doesn't it?
Yeah, he found nothing further than that line. He wanted to kick over it, and Scotty Cummings looked back into the goal square. He was trying to give a shepherd for Matera to lead.
Archer. Oh, that's a danger kick. Reid didn't take the mark. Worried out of the then by Blakey. He's had a lot of it early.
Here's a biff.
Morrison against the tide. Carey.
I reckon the new rule stopped Wayne barrelling then.
Djakovic. Peter Matera. Happy to take Motlop on. Scott, I should say. Still Peter Matera. And gets some distance. Cummings sets himself. Lane comes over the back to help out. To the pocket. Out of play.
I just saw Wayne Carey. He just eased up on the contact area then at the half-forward line. I just thought, look, this could be a hospital case here. Just put 100 kilograms through a young bloke there.
Good signs for West Coast from last year. They won 9 out of their 12 when they led a quarter time. They're going to lead a quarter time tonight. They kicked the last 4 goals in this opening term. Fletcher's had a fair bit of the ball. Took too long. Oh, well done. Gehrig, who's a left footer. Couldn't quite get around. Cousins on the up was okay. Over the top of Fletcher. Gets back. Motlop's kick.
That's coming back.
Banfield takes them on. Metropolis in trouble. Good hands. Djakovic, will he load up?
Oh, he's got Cummings in space.
Goes to the pocket. Will he get Cummings? Oh, well done, lads.
That's a perfect example of why you need to play in front of Scotty Cummings. He's not going to take the big mark over the top of him. He had the ride, he had the sit, and he still didn't even look like taking it.
I'm a bit worried about the Kangaroos' ability to run at their own ball carrier teammate at the moment. They're not getting anybody giving an offering.
Metropolis. McIntosh is danger. McKernan still outside 50. Hoping handball to McCartney. Oh, boy, that was strong, I think, coming from Embley. Djakovic, Kemp, Harvey. Hot footy at the moment.
3-on-1 there. Eagles are always going to win that under pressure.
Clever kick by Kemp. That's a mark, surely, to Embley.
He's got some real talent, this kid, they reckon.
And look at this crunch from Embley.
Side on. That's in the new rules. We'll allow that one.
Gehrig, Lang with him.
He's sticking to his task, young Lang, isn't he? Because Gehrig is threatening to have a pretty good one tonight.
You mentioned earlier about the move on Cummings. It's already been made. Archer's gone back there now, and he's playing a couple of metres in front of Cummings.
McCartney out of the air. Williams, Kemp, Williams pushing forward. Motlop was good against the Reid tackle. Then an up and under, Wapunda and Cowthorpe. Wapunda's got it. What a very interesting quarter of footy. Gee, I enjoyed that. Both teams at it. Kangaroos answered the early challenge, but then West Coast took charge and kicked the last 4 goals of the opening term. And they were so efficient when they were shooting for goal. 6 goals, Cummings has 3. White got the first one. And the others coming from Peter Matera and Fraser Gehrig. And for the Kangaroos, Blakey got 1 in his 300th, Lang and McKernan. So quarter time, it's 3-4 to 6 goals.
Still remaining at full-back, just moved late in that quarter, Jason, as you picked up on Cummings. He'll just trail along and make him really solidly earn it.
Start of the second term, Friday night footy here. Capuano, Gardner's got it to Morrison. Morrison to Cummings on a fast lead.
Matera.
So Matera, sorry, Philip
Read
Matera.
that beautifully. He read that. I looked up forward before it went out wide to the running Eagles player on the wing. The handball hadn't even gone out to him, and he was on the lead already. And he got that burst, and Scotty was never going to pull him in from that.
Well, his direct opponent, Robert Scott, was actually zoning off and trying to send a few yards in front of him, but the superior acceleration just took him across to the left and about 5 yards forward, and Scott just couldn't react.
If he was a sprinter at the Olympics, you'd say that was arrogant. He actually was slowing up to take the ball.
Gee, this would be an incredible start for the Eagles.
Can he make it 7 out of 7? Kicks from 45 metres.
Oh, the
That's
umpire
home.
has not moved.
That's home.
You get a feeling some nights, don't you?
And I'll tell you what, Bruce, a very good sign for the Eagles are the amount of players that are running from all parts of the ground to congratulate all those involved in the goal. Their team spirit, the morale, the camaraderie is extraordinary at the moment, and that's something that will carry them a long way towards winning this game.
You've got to go a long way down the track to ride off the Kangaroos, but the thing they're so good at is the in and under ball getting, and the fact that we've got Stevens out of the centre square now, and he's not winning the ball out of the middle, means they're in a bit of trouble in there. They can't dig in under and win it.
Gee, Philip Matera was interesting, just averaging a goal a match away from Perth last year and 3 at home, so he's going to be pretty happy with that, to have a goal on the board. Sharpshooters, the Matera brothers. Motlop, Bell, Harvey, very short, and gets to Gehrig. First real chance here for the King. 55 out, loads it, and kicks it. And kicks it through.
And that is one of the benefits of having an open forward line. The only person that he had to contend with in the goal square was a one-on-one between Corey McKernan and Ashley McIntosh. That's why he kicked it so quickly. Very few people can kick it 55 metres off one step. There's the short pass coming in from Brent Harvey. As soon as he looks up, he says, OK, there's only one contest there. And I know Corey McKernan's got the inside position on Ashley McIntosh. A great shepherd, bounces just over the line.
See the front on camera there when Gehrig was just 2 steps away from kicking that. He gave a sniff like, here I go.
It's worth about 5 kicks kicking one like that, because Djakovic had him under control early. Morrison.
Did nothing wrong, Djakovic, either on that.
Fletcher's kick is good. To Williams. To Wapunda. Wapunda to centre half forward. White was very good. Didn't quite hold it.
Wrong option by the Eagles ball carrier, though. Cummings had space and on the burst.
McCartney's long ball. Djakovic with courage. Had McKernan at him and Gehrig in front of him. McIntosh to Cousins. And away go the Eagles. Through Fletcher. Not a great kick. Motlop's got some pace. We saw that in the grand final last year. This is where they're so good. Gehrig, Djakovic. Djakovic to ground. Abraham's clever. Handball back to Cowthorpe. Goes back again to King, who can kick a long goal. Fancies himself. Misses.
I'll tell you who's very fortunate there. The skipper, Guy McKenna. When the contest came, he peeled off to the back. Winston Abraham did the right thing and went front and square to the contest. Rove the ball, fed off the handball. McKenna's lucky to be kicking out and not going back to his original position to start a centre bounce again.
Well, he's held it up a bit here, Djakovic. Gardner got on the burst through away from Capuano. I'll tell you what, he hasn't had a heap of the ball, Gardner, but he is giving them something to think about. He's actually freeing up and opening up play here.
Kemp has had a heap of it, hasn't he? Here's White, 55 metres out, going to Cummings in the pocket. Well done, Archer.
Scotty does that too much.
He's got a one-grabber. He just needs to take it in one grab instead of letting the person behind you get a second crack at punching the ball away.
If he doesn't clunk it out in front and it gets the slightest bit behind him, see that there? He never gets the hands back up for the second one.
Nice little cauliflower ear for his trouble too, from Arch in the spoil.
Archer's going to do that too, isn't he?
Pickett, Stevens, didn't quite get it out though. Cousins cut it off. Fletcher and White, back to White, hooks it back. Pretty good kick actually, cramped in. Lang decides to belt away. Gardner kicks the goal.
He's moving well.
Now, you've got to feel for Adam Lang there. There was nothing wrong with the option that he selected. He went for the big punch through the goals or through the points. What he didn't do was get enough fist on the ball. You'll see the ball come in, a great centre from Mitchell White. Now he goes the big punch. He said, I'm in traffic, I'll go for the safety. He didn't get enough fist on the ball. And as a matter of fact, it just trundled forward, sat up invitingly for Michael Gardner, who can't believe his luck, and runs into an open goal.
Got to be a single fister well over the line.
The white kick was important, wasn't it? He's able to centre it from a very deep pocket.
That's experience, though. He could have panicked and really just snap kick forward, give it no height. But the air in the ball there going up in the air so high gave his teammates a chance to read it and where to run to.
Stevens' toe poke picked up by Banfield. Back to Lang. The advantage is given was a free kick to the Kangaroos. Half-forward flank.
Good umpiring.
Bell and Banfield. Abraham. Play on again.
Have a look at this.
It's a great goal. It's a goal. It's a goal. Only Winnie can do that.
There are very few players in the league who can pick a ball on a run like Winston Abraham. He is one of a very elite group, and he just runs back into the middle to thank Peter Bell. But it was, Dermot, you made comment, it was a very good decision, the original contest between Abraham and McKenna. They were both hanging on, they were both pushing and shoving. He let it go, Bell got the handball off. Abraham's working pretty hard. He recovered well from that contest. He followed up, and have a look at that kick on the run. If he didn't kick the goal, Gehrig would have marked it and kicked the goal.
Jason, I know you actually didn't get on the run like that and kick too many, but you've got to be brave enough from out there to give them a lead of about 7 or 8 metres up the ground, and they actually swing left to right after they leave the boot when your body's forced out that way.
5-5 to 8 goals. Peter Matera, it's goal for goal in the second term. It's exciting stuff, isn't it? Pickett, speaking of excitement, look at this. Terrific, arch the back, gives it all he's got. Not a good kick, McKenna gets it.
He didn't steady, did he? It's disappointing finish, that one.
Gehrig to Peter Matera. He just left it cleverly for Williams. That'll be paid.
Semphy's lurking.
You got it too. And then bangs high.
It's downfield.
Oh, gee, that could hurt because White's got it inside 50. It's been terrific, Kemp, hasn't he?
Oh, look, blow the whistle now full time. You've got to give 3 to Kemp.
Yeah, he's best man on the ground by a long way.
Capuano, he hasn't been in favour with Dennis Pagan. He's coming off the ground. Look, Gardner's been very good as well. Gardner, even though he hasn't been a big possession getter, only the 4 or 5 possessions, has actually got around and given him something to think about. Hence, there's a big spider coming on, but we're in the hands of Mitchell White here. Normally a pretty good kick, but he just leant on that one.
He's blotted the copybook. Yeah, he leant back, and if you make a mistake when you lean back, it always goes high and right.
Yeah, look at that one, though. The left leg on impact of the boot on ball. His left leg was horribly bent. He lowered his height. His left shoulder came open, and it's anywhere stuff when that happens.
So King to himself, then gets some metres. And gets the ball well outside 50, almost a centre wing. No, Grant, almost a good mark. I was going to say no big target. Banfield's kick didn't come off in the end. Cowthorpe floats it to Bell. Cousins, no one went for West Coast. Peter Matera was good just to get a finger on it. Banfield, Cowthorpe gets it back. Belts the centre half forward. Big spiders there. McKenna at the back. Little handball was a hot one. Morrison, oh, well done by Motlop. Back to Bell. Bell's handball inside the spider to Bell. Bell running, clever little kick. Harvey on the burst, just shoves it forward in typical Kangaroo style. Well, Metropolis didn't take the mark. Carey in the pocket, being manhandled, taken by McIntosh, has a bit of time.
Carey's presence made Reid drop that one, I reckon. He just knew that the King was there in the vicinity. Took his mind off it for a second. Oh, sorry, Metropolis, was it? Yep.
Here's Banfield.
Waiting for somebody to run at him. That player is Gehrig further afield, and he sits it on his head.
Oh,
well, that's a great catch.
And quickly on. To Reid. To Cousins. Cousins loads up.
Bad option.
Could be a goal.
Well done.
It's a goal. It's a goal.
He threw out a boot at that.
Off Philip Matera's boot.
It was a bad option. He had better leads, and it was only a chance that it rolled on, and the superior pace of Matera. And you don't have enough time when you're running forward like that to think this bloke has pace. He will beat his man. He's got to go past him.
Have a look at the stretch in the leg. He got one boot on it, and he's still trying to get another one on it.
It's a great
like
angle,
that,
isn't it?
You like that desperation, don't you?
Well, plenty to think about, as there always is in a football match for the coaching staff. Philip Matera kicked 1 goal at the MCG last year in 4 matches. He's kicked 2 tonight so far. That's a bonus for the Eagles.
He's liking it out there. There's a lot to like about the Eagles at the moment.
Smother.
Fletcher smother was good. McCartney missed it. Fletcher to Gehrig. He's a left footer. He's a left footer. Back. Little one. Got him. He's going to kick a 3rd, Philip Matera.
You talk about the way that Carey plays at centre-half forward. He is the man out there in the whole competition. But Fraser Gehrig in the last 3 minutes has been the ideal centre-half forward. He met the ball, he caught the ball that should never been marked on the wing, and that's where it turns around so often. And then he's able to run back with the flight on this one, keep his composure in the traffic, and just shoot one through at daisy level and just hit him lace out.
I'll tell you what, I can't believe he threaded that through. That's an incredible
kick.
pass. But I would be real worried if I was Dennis Pagan at the moment, because they're matching him in all aspects of the game.
Good angle for Philip Matera. And he's kicked 3.
Pretty happy about it.
3 second-quarter goals from Philip Matera. 3 from Cummings in the opening term, 3 from Philip Matera in the second quarter. And between them last year, they kicked 146 goals for the club.
I'll say that in this second quarter, Philip Matera has been the one mainly on the lead. Cummings has almost sat back, and on a couple of occasions he's looked sideways to actually just put the body in and block a little bit of the trailing player behind Matera, and that is Robbie Scott. So it's almost like he's the designated full forward now.
Great angle of Gehrig's kick, the squeeze through, Jason, wasn't it?
Oh, look, that was great composure. I mean, the natural tendency there is just to kick it across your body and try and kick that miracle snap, but he just took his time. He knew he had space and threaded the ball through a needle-eye opening.
Kempy's the target here. He's right in the zone for...
And no one's anywhere near him.
Yeah. Well, he's ended up close to it.
61-35.
Bit of a conversation there between McKernan and Carey. McKernan going back one out into the goal square. Carey coming right up towards the ball. And Bluey McKenna is just going back to sit himself in front of McKernan now, fill up that hole.
Gone for safety at the other end. Blakey's going back to pick up Matera now.
What a kick.
Matera's going to kick 4. He's got 4. The move was made just as it was happening. Was it Blakey going back and Scotty coming off?
That's just unfortunate. It's the bad timing. I reckon if Robbie Scott was the man right then and there, he would have had it summed up. But looking at Robbie Scott coming off out of shot, we're watching the replay here. He's not travelling all that well. I reckon he's had to chase so hard. He's pulled something there, maybe a hammy or whatever. We'll find out from the big fella soon. But there, he just turned Blakey inside out. He didn't get a chance to sum him up, work out what he was going to do on him.
So Robert Scott's off the ground. Looks as if he might have hurt himself. Blakey's gone back onto Philip Matera.
They talk about impact players. Philip Matera has kicked 3 in a matter of minutes. That is just unbelievable. And Carey, in desperation, has moved into the centre square.
Remember at the grand final, we went into the guts and turned the match around? Williams to Kemp to Simpson. Fletcher kicked 11 goals, the Eagles. We've got 13 minutes before half-time. Rapunda. Gehrig's pace could be a danger here. Couldn't quite hold it. Archer was steaming out.
Do you think Carey's actually going to have a run on the ball, or he's just a centre-half forward, just moving into the bounce down just to see if he can win a possession his team's way? Because when Kemp's on fire, there's very few players in the league who can read where the palm of the ruckman is going better than him.
Williams over the top. Bell was good. King had to change direction, did it perfectly to Simpson. Belts it forward. Couldn't cut it off Matera. Mark taken by Grant. Abraham. Great kick. Look at this. McKernan. McIntosh. Back. Calthorpe lines him up and kicks his first goal for the Kangaroos.
Well, that was basically just a variation of Pagan's paddock. They love to open it up and run in with the flight of the ball. In this instance, it was McKernan who was running goalward. He got on the goalward side of McIntosh. Didn't get a great bounce. He was entitled to think that that ball might actually sit up and he could run into an open goal. It jumped into the forward pocket, but he gathered it well, fed it off to Calthorpe. And that's a pretty good finish off one step. You've got to size it up. You've got to control the ball very quickly and finish off a very rare opportunity for the Kangaroos.
What about Robert Scott, Tipper?
Yeah, the Kangaroo bench is now down to 3. Robert Scott has certainly done his hamstring. It happened after Matera kicked his 3rd goal. The doctor went out to him and he was trying to get off the ground before Matera got that 4th goal.
So that's a blow to the Kangaroos. Oh, well done, Bell. Kemp was good too. Simpson squeezes it back up and high to half forward. At the back was Fletcher, did well. Kemp ricochets away. Handball out by Shannon Grant, okay, to Stevens. To Harvey, to Lang. Lang on his left foot, controls it well to Carey. Free kick to Carey against Djakovic, too high.
Had to stretch him, didn't he? I reckon that's a good percentage play by Djokovic. I mean, Carey, without the body contact, is going to get it. So his best option is, well, take the umpire on. He has to make a decision here. I'm a 50-50. If he goes my way, I'm still in the hunt. Otherwise, Carey doesn't drop these.
Good view of the kick. It looks good, doesn't it? Just at the end. It looked okay. So Carey with 1-1. Sort of get to the point, if it's a shootout, Carey's probably going to have to kick half a dozen in the end.
No worries about that. Yeah, they're just not travelling the ball forward of the centre with any authority. It's going to rely on an individual effort to kick it.
Burton late to Grant, can set it up here. Goes back to Harvey. McIntosh in hard. Crunches him. Calthorpe. Handball back okay. Left foot by Simpson. And misses.
These are going to hurt them. In the final analysis, this will hurt them. I reckon God says you only get X amount of shots at goal. And if you don't convert them, you don't get any more.
14 shots to 12 so far.
Yep.
And the Eagles are 4 goals in front. Well, Punda very, very wide and high. Good play by Reid. He just did it well against King then.
There's 2-on-1. He stands up, doesn't he, Philip Reid? Carey's given him a bump there, and he's looked at him and said, I'll have a go at you.
McKenna to centre half forward. White at the back made a contest. Williams.
Gardner's forward to play. If they get it out.
Shannon Grant to Simpson. To Kemp. Little kick to White. Good hands.
Could have rattled it if Mitchell White didn't take it. Scotty Cummings was on the lead. He would have gathered it as well. I think they're starting to queue up to get on the end of these opportunities now.
This is a big kick because he's the only man that's really missed for them tonight, hasn't he, White, from a kickable one. He kicked the first of the match. This is not easy, but if he kicks this, it gives them a very big lead.
I'll back him to make amends, Bruce.
Watch his left shoulder if it stays front onto the target. That wasn't bad.
Well done.
Well done.
Good call, Jason. He's kicked 2. It's been a good contribution. I mean, they've got 9 goals, Ryan Pagan. They've got 9 goals out of White, Cummings and Philip Matera before half-time.
And again, it comes back to what you make of your opportunities, Bruce. They've now had exactly the same number of scoring shots, and there's a margin of 30 points.
I'll tell you what, it was a great drop into that hole by foot, wasn't it, by Kemp?
Shannon Grant and Matthew Capuano off the ground. A 5-goal game at the moment.
Carey's the only one inside 50 for the Kangaroos at the right of screen. And he's not inside 50 now.
That's gone against Ryan Pagan. He pushed Peter Matera over on the side of the square.
I reckon Matera would have started and niggled his way through the wing
and then took the best dive you've ever seen, sir.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
Short from Morrison.
Been impressed with Morrison tonight. He's done the right things. He's made the right options.
That was Fletcher.
50 metres. 50 metres. Yeah, Morrison to Fletcher it was, and Fletcher's now going to have a shot for goal.
He's been good, Fletcher. He's certainly been quite conspicuous. He's made himself available on a number of opportunities and picked up a little bit of the ball. He's had 8 touches to date.
Ryan Pagan's going to come off for the Kangaroos because of what happened in the centre square. Turnbull on. Well, he's only in his 2nd game of league footy. Hasn't kicked a goal for the Eagles. Right in front. Straight through the middle. 13 they've got before half-time.
I can remember the times when the Eagles used to go a match and kick 13 goals, and you would think that Ken Judge, the way he coaches his edict to football, they would struggle to kick 13, 14 goals a match. But here we find ourselves at the 19.5-minute mark of the 2nd quarter. 13 on the board. Pagan off.
That's one of the harsh realities of football. You're playing your son, he gets a chance, he goes out there, gives away a free kick, straight off, son.
Unfortunately, I think that he's going to cop that a bit from Dad. He's going to be a little bit harder on him than the other boys.
And I wonder if he received a phone call once he got off.
6-7 to 13-1. It's a remarkable scoreline. 13 goals won. We've got 10 minutes to go before half-time.
Well, the Roos are a chance for a win out of the centre here. Kemp's out of there.
Bell gets it. Wapunda front spot. Motlop against him. McKenna. Carey. Clever. Wapunda. Abraham.
Oh, great chase.
Motlop's quick. Centering ball, couldn't quite get it up. McIntosh in trouble, that's deliberate.
Oh, that's going to be close. Yeah. Stephen Hanley, the umpire there, was never going to look any other way at that, was he?
His option was a handball to the goal.
Just on the wrong side, being a left footer, he doesn't know what to do. Oh, that's dangerous.
Bell ridden into the ground, will get a free kick.
That is just a very, very sloppy tackle. Very sloppy.
Experience there.
Oh, look, exactly. Peter Bell knew that he probably wasn't in a position to have time to kick the goal. He knew the player was bearing down from behind, so he let his momentum go forward. He let the arm slip up over the shoulder, and he's probably turned into what you would expect him to kick a goal from this position.
Improves the angle, hooks it back and likes it. Bell gets his first. Kangaroos get their 7th.
Positive error, though, by young Chad Fletcher. He wanted to tear his head off. He wanted to do the right thing here. He's charged at him, and just a bit of over-exuberance there from youthful enthusiasm, but it hurts.
Bell felt him coming to and ducked a bit just at the last moment.
Bit of Gary Buckenara in that one, wasn't there? Just let the weight travel forward. Easy goal in the final analysis.
High-scoring match. Back to 5 goals, 7-7, 13-1. Same number of scoring shots. So efficient, the Eagles, tonight, when they've gone forward. Capuano, Gehrig, he could have taken it there, Capuano, just laid it down. Cousins, with pace, gets onto his right foot, goes to full forward, over the top of Cummings. At the back, good tackle coming in from Peter. Matera again on Lang. McCartney under pressure. Rintoul can kick a goal. It'll bounce through. Have a look at that one, 14.
Well, they are just on a roll at the moment, the Eagles. And Dermot, I've got to be honest, I'm not quite sure if Dennis Pagan has too many options at the moment, because one of their strengths, the Kangaroos, is getting out of the middle. That's where they're getting badly beaten. And in particular, their normally steady defence is under serious assault here.
You've got to say, the word that comes, the words put together that describe the situation, the maulers are being out-mauled. I mean, there's 16, 18 blokes within 25 metres of goal there. Normally, the Roos would gobble that up, and the Eagles have won it and found a man on the outside.
I said Capuano a moment ago, it was Burton. That's a bad bounce, didn't give the big men a chance. Bell, Stevens, handball out. Clayton hit Abraham. Back to Bell, who's playing well. Kicks the full forward. Carey front spot. Djakovic will punder it well. Hasn't taken it yet. Does now. McKenna.
So young Chad Fletcher further up the ground, if you can see him. Couldn't see him under the pressure.
Did well with Punder really in the end, because there was not much in it. He got it all the way up to centre wing.
That was the doubt, wasn't it? I mean, you see the man 5 metres away, and you just look at that channel down the boundary line. He had young Fletcher about 40 metres ahead, ready to run on.
Just a little bit worried about the body language of Wayne Carey. It's almost like he's thinking, uh-oh, it's happening again. Djakovic is scoring another one up on me.
Well, he's not turning him.
Morrison.
Good chase by Big Spider there.
To Braun. Good kick. That's a good kick.
You notice that Scotty Cummings' hands there, 2 grabber. Only the fact that he knew, oh, I've done Arch on the lead here, I've outread it. He was unsure on the 2 grab. If he nails this one, it'll come through. Let's have a look at the kick coming through here. If he nails this one, the next grab he goes at, see, there's the little bobble in there. The next one will come in, it'll just go clunk straight in there.
I'll tell you what you also saw, I just mentioned a minute ago the body language of Wayne Carey. He was standing up the other end, hands on hips. He's worried. Glenn Archer gave that away very, very early.
Yeah, he turned that one up.
If Cummings does fumble, you don't expect him to at this level, but if he does, he's got time to pick it up and still have a shot, because Arch is sort of sitting there saying, well, what's going on? The ball's coming down 100 miles an hour.
He's kicked 3 goals tonight. Hasn't looked like missing. Gee, they're rolling, aren't they?
Scotty Cummings looked at his mates after he's kicked that one, and I reckon he had a bit of doubt whether he actually snuck that one through. Have a look at the body language there. Here we see Morrison coming down. Turns it inboard. Now, this breaks the play. Cummings is already on the lead by now, and Archer's tailed off him. Yeah, I reckon Archer's dropped off him there.
Archer.
He's dropped off him when he saw the ball go inboard, and then Cummings kept going and just got the little dinky 20. There he is. I reckon he reckons he got out of jail with that kick.
They are real worried, the Kangaroos' defence.
It's coming down pretty
well.
constant.
It's unusual. This doesn't normally happen, and all of a sudden they are being placed under pressure that they don't normally face.
What an opening half this has been. Bell kicks inside 50. Djakovic, Carey, McIntosh and McKernan. Wapanda out of play. 91-49. We've gone for the record books because...
What's the most accurate kicking in the history of the game, Bruce? I'm sure you'll be able to tell me about that. They're 15-1 at the moment.
I can tell you on a Friday night in the year 2000, that is it.
This century.
Hooked back by Burton.
Oh, they've got numbers everywhere, West Coast.
Cousins from Braun to McIntosh. Decides to go long. Gehrig's his target. Almost.
Good jump at it there.
Good decision, good decision. He got one right across the side of the head then.
He's playing copybook centre-half forward tonight, Fraser. Oh, Cummings on the burst. He didn't put it out in front.
At the back, Peter Matera with Phillip. I can tell you the West Coast have kicked 9 goals, 1 in this quarter. That is easily their best second quarter effort ever against the Kangaroos. Previously, it was 7 goals, 4 back in 1987 at Subiaco. So they've had a record-breaking second quarter against the Kangaroos here. Will they turn it into 4 points? Because in the end, I guess that's all that matters. Williams to Lang, out of play again. So a 9-goal second term here.
If Turnbull going up in the ruck here against Spidey, he's found his palm to it a fair bit.
Now, again, an indication of the sign of the times. This is not tactics, how open the Kangaroos forward line is. They are just getting sucked up the ground because the ball's not coming down. Evan Hewitt's just gone on the ground. He's gone to full forward. There is not another Kangaroos player that side of halfway.
Kemp clever, can nearly kick it. Has he done it? No.
Phillip Matera hands up in the air in the centre. He's thinking he should have centred the ball to him, but when you're on a roll, you're entitled to have a ping at it from there.
King wanting the king and gets him.
No one to kick it to.
Puts it in front of Hewitt. This will take courage. He did well, Rintoul.
He has got a huge heart, this kid Rintoul, hasn't he? He did some great stuff late in the year last year.
Funny option though to read. Gee, might have outmarked the king. Carey, Williams, toe poke was clever, so was White. They push forward. Bell, run down, holding the ball, play on. Reed loads it up.
Oh. Geez, I would have liked the boy to kick that one. He's done everything there. He's worked hard, he's run, and only needed that polish for the execution.
As I said, body language tells the story, doesn't it? He's got some injury problems as well, Carey, and that doesn't augur well for a Kangaroos comeback, because we mentioned earlier he needs to kick 5 or 6 to turn this game.
Pickett to Blakey. To Stevens.
Got Carey in space now.
He's got it.
Oh, he's copped one, Djakovic there. Accidental, I reckon.
Carey's kick is clever enough. It should sit for Clayton, running hard. He's in the pocket. Does he centre? He did. McIntosh cut it off a bit. Didn't quite get to McKernan. Calthorpe's going to kick a second. He's got 2, Calthorpe.
And again, I've got to say that they have been very fortunate tonight with a few of their goals. I mean, Clayton probably chose the wrong option. I mean, it looked to be running straight at goal, should have had a shot. Centred the ball and got smothered. It then went right through the legs of Corey McKernan. Lo and behold, there's David Calthorpe standing over the back, sits up in his hands, and he can't miss.
David Calthorpe's going to kick a few for the Kangaroos this year. He's not going to be a big possession getter. We've seen him in the lead-up competition. He's kicked the odd 1 or 2 without having any other touches. It's almost like he's just running into the spot and stays there. He loiters there and waits for the ball to squeeze its way out of the congestion and find its way to him.
Gee, all these goals are important for the Kangaroos before half-time. They could get 1 or 2 back. It'll give them some momentum. Wapanda was very good then against Stevens. To half forward. The attack from Simpson with Kemp was good too. Laying around the body. His next 4 or 5 minutes are pretty important. Rintoul takes his man on, but it was good play to hold him up, but he held him up too long there, Clayton. Gee, he had him scummed too. He didn't have to hang on.
It's clever by Rintoul. He made sure the umpire could see too. He threw the arms up.
Might have a look at Carey here, see if he's... he might have hurt himself here.
Looks like he fell over, landed on one shoulder, and the opponent rolled on the other one.
It's Mitchell White, yeah.
He just squashed that shoulder a little bit.
Cousins, Gehrig was 3rd or 4th in line. Short free kick to Spider, not paid. Hewitt was in there.
He just finds them, doesn't he, Kemp? That's great touch.
Braun at 50. Fletcher runs for him, very short.
Oh, Bluey McKenna's the man if he wants to go to the middle.
Well, he's got Philip Matera.
That's unforgivable.
Yeah.
That is unforgivable. You're talking about what people describe as the premiership team several months ago, and they've allowed a hole there, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys were inside defensive 50, and the one place you don't want to leave a hole is a channel right down the guts.
And again, it all started from Dean Kemp, who has done nothing to tarnish his best on-ground status. And the reason they're so happy to see him get the ball is because he always uses it so well.
He's kicked 4 goals in the second quarter, Philip Matera. Starts it right.
Just hung out there.
Well, they've missed a couple, haven't they? Just late in this term. Not many, but suddenly it's gone from 15-1 to 15-4. 17-2 would have really put them away.
15-4 is a more realistic ratio between goals and points as well.
I'll tell you what, it's an impressive scoreline, having 15 up front.
Well, 10 times in 24 matches last year, they kicked 15 goals or better. They've got 15 before half-time. They only kicked 20 goals once last year. Wapunda's got it and stretches his opponent and bangs it to Peter Matera. Got it. Got it. So once last year, Dermot, they kicked 20 goals in a game, and they've got 15 before half-time here.
I'll tell you right now, we've been singing the praise of Dean Kemp. David Wapunda is not far behind him. His acceleration is unbelievable, and I'll tell you what I hadn't noticed before. He's had almost a dozen possessions, 10 kicks, but the penetration on his kicking, I didn't realise he was such
while
a
at
kick.
full tilt.
Oh.
Yep. A lot of blokes we saw going into the North Melbourne forward line before. Who was it? I think it was young Clayton. Just turned it. No, in the first quarter, Pickett didn't hit Carey, the target. That one at full flat chat tilt. He's got great penetration over the back there.
45 metres out.
2 steps.
It's a good kick. He's kicked 2. His brother's got 4. Well, if North Melbourne was 16-8, we'd be saying this game is so far all over, it doesn't matter.
Again, about 10 players forming a huddle in the forward line, congratulating each other on the work that's been done. I mean, have a look at the acceleration from Wirrapunda. He knew that he had the opponent, Calthorpe, I think it was, hot on his hammer, but he still managed to get enough distance and enough height on the kick to give Matera a run at it. And as Dermot said, only off a couple of paces, but a pretty efficient kicking style.
That's the kind of thing you'd look at a swap on someone like Calthorpe.
It's Robert Scott with a hammy.
Got to say though, 16 on the board, transfer that to a full game, 32. Once you get over 26 goals, somebody kicks over 26 goals, your back line is deficient.
They're flogging him in the middle.
Cousins, Gehrig. I think the Kangaroos want a siren to sound pretty quick, don't you? Philip Matera belts the 4-4. Cummings and Archer. Archer trying to get it for the line. He does.
There's something seriously wrong with a team that concedes 30 goals. Now, it's not that, and they might stop to a walk. I don't know. But 16 before half-time, something is seriously wrong. It's in the centre, and they're allowing space in their back line as well, where they're just leading.
I'd be surprised, if a Dennis Pagan coach side conceded 30 goals, let me tell you.
I would too, but they're on target.
Williams, Peter Matera, Philip Matera, Cummings versus Archer. Gehrig's on his right side, he runs out of room. Back, Kemp, that's good touch by Kemp to Gehrig, left foot, that's not bad, have a look at that.
Oh, you're joking.
Can you believe that one? Magnificent stuff.
When you are hot, you are just dead set scalding hot, aren't you? And again, who needed to come in and just clean things up a little bit? Dean Kemp.
I said, they'll get another one here. I thought Scotty Cummings was just going to snap that one up on the chest.
I just want to see the angle that he's kicking from here. You're not entitled to kick a drop punt from there and watch it go through. A left footer from that pocket, a right footer maybe, but a left footer, you're not in. Look at this angle from behind. That is a great camera shot. You are not entitled to kick that goal off one step. I'm sorry.
Do you know they've played each other 22 times, these two clubs, in 13 years, and only once the Eagles have kicked 20 goals against the Kangaroos? Once. They've got 17 before half-time.
Well, Judge, he certainly has turned the tap on at that end of the ground, hasn't he?
Do you wonder if Mickey's writing some notes watching on for Collingwood on Monday? Boy, oh boy, this is unbelievable. If somebody told you to be 17 goals 4 to 8 goals 7 before half-time, you'd send them on a journey somewhere else, wouldn't you?
Well, you would have said fair enough, but you'd expect the Kangaroos to be the 17 goals boys.
Infringement there against Philip Matera. He saw that there was options on for Pickett to dish off either side and professionally just tried to hold it up a bit. But the umpire's a pretty good wake up to that one.
So Pickett now, late chance for the Kangaroos. They just need to scramble something here. So they've got to get something from a wreck. Carey, McKernan.
Yeah, Carey should have got a free kick being hung on to.
Bell, Cousins. Clayton runs hard. White beats them all. McCartney again. White's got him. Play on called. Still to be won.
And again, Dermot, when things are going against you, luck goes against you as well. Carey on a good day probably would have got the free kick there, but things aren't going right tonight. He was hung onto. He was obstructed in his run and jump for the ball. Should have got a free kick.
He did it well. He took Djokovic away with a 15-metre lead. He knew he was never going to get a kick to him there, and the 15-metre lead back to that hot zone.
Clayton, high and wide, just inside 50. Almost a big grab by McKernan. Cousins has been very good. The whole team has. Kemp's been outstanding. The advantage given us are going to come back, I think, here to West Coast, that time against McKernan.
Now, this area here, the static kick coming along a half-back, this is where the centre-half forward is vital. He's going to go short anyway. He'll find his target. Young Fletcher, good spoil. That area there, that's where the centre-half forward has to come up and be the big target and find the ball. Blakey's got the job up there on Gehrig now, who's been very, very good from that zone. He's provided the lead on offer, and if he hasn't marked it, he's had crummers at his feet. McKenna peels off the back of this one.
Very close to half-time. Grant to Harvey. Inside 50, big grab taken by Hewitt right on the siren. Well, the youngster has got a chance to do something here.
Well, they probably need this to have any real hope. They need to kick this and at least go into half-time, having kicked the last goal, at least on some sort of positive.
I reckon, you know, if he had to kick this goal 2 minutes ago and they just played out the rest of the quarter, so what? But if you kick one after the siren, no matter what the score, you go in Boyd. Important kick here.
It's a beautiful kick. That is a beautiful kick.
And there's a reaction, spot on. What a remarkable half of footy.
And just kicking that goal after the siren just takes the edge.
Big ask.
If you just joined us, that's a true scoreline, 17-4 to 9-7. Cummings has got 4 and Philip Matera's got 4 as the Kangaroos. Let's see what they can do. They've made some mighty comebacks in the past under Dennis Pagan. This one would be remarkable.
Oh, he's gone a bit hard at the boundary with that one. He's got away with it.
No, I think he's going to ping him.
Oh, really? Yeah, he just went a little bit too hard. If he had trickled the ball out, he was tackled legitimately. If he had trickled it out and it just had ebbed out of there and made its way and crept over the boundary, he might have got away with it.
It's a great kick, Abraham. This would take something really special, but he's not beyond him.
I'd prefer him to get into a motion where he's almost playing on and swing onto the right foot.
To the front of the square. McKernan, big flyer, and a free kick to West Coast, I think, so the advantage is given here. Cousins just loses it momentarily. Had a good first half, very good second quarter. They were really rolling there. They kicked 11. White just gave a little shove. Kemp's been outstanding. Pushed forward by the Eagles. Archer off the ground. Gehrig's been excellent. Archer's on him for the moment. Harvey out of play. Well, they're going to have to kick probably 23 goals, 24 goals to win, the Kangaroos. That's if they can keep West Coast down from this point on. Yep. It's a huge ask, isn't it?
Well, they've shuffled around a bit. I don't know whether it's moving the deck chairs on the Titanic, though. Lang's gone back to full back. Archer's come out to Gehrig at centre-half forward, who's been dominant.
The interesting thing for West Coast is they've got so many goals out of Matera and Cummings, and yet White and Gehrig have also been so important as well. Yeah, well, they did. I mean, you fall down there, that's where it mostly gets repelled. Gee, Wapunda on the interchange is interesting. Had a huge first half. Dipper might check as to whether he's fully fit, Wapunda. Banfield pushing forward. King went to ground. Rintoul.
Well, Matera's on the lead already.
Braun's going to go for goal. Misses. She had Gehrig alone too. Yeah, Pickett's gone back on to Matera, and that really could hurt there because Pickett likes to play off his opponent and read the situation rather than tag him up. I think there's a serious injury from West Coast point of view, Dipper.
Yeah, Shurupanda was a late change there, Bruce, but Andrew Embley's been sent to hospital. He has a collapsed lung and obviously getting x-rays at the moment, so he definitely won't take part in the game, so they're down to 3 as well. He went for a big fly early, Embley. I reckon he might have landed a bit hard.
Kemp. Peter Matera. Archer underneath it. Oh, didn't take it. Play on call. A toe poke would have been handy there. Forced through for a behind. So Andrew Embley, the 18-year-old, in hospital at the moment. So we're hoping that there's a decent report for him at the end of the night.
Playing his 10th game.
Only teenager for either team out there tonight. Morrison went early. No free kick. They've got to get momentum quickly here, the Kangaroos, don't they? They've got to erode into this deficiency pretty quickly, you would think.
I reckon after the first bounce, after half-time, you go about 30 seconds, and thereafter, for about 3 or 4 minutes, the game is at its slackest period for the whole match. You almost settle back in once you find a trend occur.
McIntosh, McKernan, Carey almost waxed it. Pagan kicks to centre half forward. Big fly came from Hewitt. Now Abraham's got a chance. He'll kick this. Well, they've got the first. It's that little 3-minute period.
I was just going to say, Bruce, the most important thing for the Kangaroos was to kick the first goal. If they didn't kick the first goal of this quarter, you could have closed the book on it.
And remember, they got the last one before half-time on the siren, so they actually kicked 2 goals in a row here. Just helps a bit, doesn't it?
Oh, look, it's just getting the tide just swinging in their direction. Disappointing thing there when he stayed down. I mean, he is a great player at reading, you know, the opportunity, but he really did stay down too long.
So a couple to win. It's the first time they kicked 2 in a row since the early stages of the first quarter. They kicked 3 in a row after West Coast got the first goal. So that might help. Another one here would be handy, wouldn't it? Cousins to Braun.
Got to go to Matera.
Doesn't find him, and he's nearly in range here.
I tell you what, David King was sitting a long way off him. He does like to zone off, but when you're under this much pressure, I just think you've got to go back to a more secure and a more conservative game plan.
Still, you've got to win him. You know, he just tries to buy himself that little bit of room where he can be attacking going forward. But
yeah, I understand you'd have to win it, but there are times and places for being aggressive and attacking, and that probably wasn't one of them.
Yep.
This would really sting if he kicks this. Really sting. He's kicked 2, Matera. The other one's kicked 4, Phillip. Gee, that's a good kick. That is a sensational kick. So the Matera brothers have kicked 7 between them here.
Gee, they'd be hoping he could stay fit. Pete Matera, he is just pure quality, isn't he, by foot here? Well worked, though, by the centre. Kemp's not in there for the first 2 bounce downs, and you just tended to think that he's the best architect they have. Cousins found his way onto the bottom and had plenty of the ball in the first half, but didn't actually drag the ball away from the congestion in the centre all that much. He's done it on that occasion.
So one brother to another. 4 second quarter goals for Phillip, and Peter's got 1 in each of the 3 quarters. 1 in the first, second and third.
The Eagles playing 4 men across the half-forward line, 2 in the goal square, as per the whole evening.
Capuano to Pagan to centre half forward. The Twin Towers got it. McKernan's got it. Now he can kick this. He can dob this. He's outside 50. He's a long way out.
Open goal square.
Doesn't quite get it. Hewitt flies behind.
Got a bit too much spin on it, didn't he? I've got this theory, Jace. The slower you make the ball spin in a drop punt, the more purchase you've got on it, and the further it goes.
Yeah, that does happen. There's just a couple of times when you try to kick it too hard and you don't time it quite right, and that's what he did on that occasion.
They spin real slow sometimes if you time them badly. They don't spin at all.
Cousins has been good.
Oh, the Matera brother again.
Oh. Rintoul to Peter Matera. King with him now, Peter Matera. Something should happen here. He's hooked it back to Phillip. He's going to be outnumbered in the end. And Pickett takes an easy mark. Swings it wide.
Archer just needs to stop in the middle here. Great tackle, chased down from behind.
Holding the ball against Shannon Grant.
But as a coach, or as a... Oh, that's taken the steam out of him completely and utterly.
Terrible kick.
Play goes on. Peter Matera.
Too far. Had more time than he thought there. And Phillip is just... Brother Phillip in the goal square saying you didn't see me. It would have been a gift. McKernan on screen. Here he is. He comes over here and his teammate just barrels him.
Might have hit him right in the Jets crackers, I think, Dern.
Here's the rundown. Gee, it was a good rundown by Philip Matera.
Oh, he's tucked up his arm. He had no cushion there, and he's taken the wind out of him. Good rundown, though. But they're playing static here. The Roos normally go back inboard, and they get a bit of run going out the other side. They're just having to go mark, kick up the ground.
Capuano missed it. White back to McKenna. Lobs it up inside 50. Front spot Archer was always in the right spot. Took a good mark against Philip Matera.
Oh, that's a dangerous switch.
And Rintoul belts it forward. Nobody there. Simpson is taking a while to get hold of it. He's in trouble. High tackle. Gee.
That's the thing with Rintoul. I mean, he's done the right thing. He's charged from a distance away, but he just lets himself down when he just needed a bit of temperance on it.
Hewitt's mark paid. No advantage given to the Kangaroos. 18-7 to 10-8.
Capuano leading short.
He's going to ignore him and go to McKernan. McIntosh tries to wrap him up. Fletcher, Banfield, Djakovic. Capuano should mark it. Just got to get the scoreboard going here, the Kangaroos, don't they?
Yeah.
Have to.
Getting no run from behind the ball carrier, though.
McCartney will probably bomb, you'd think, and bomb hard and high. Pretty good kick, actually. Blakey had a big first quarter. McKenna, beautiful handball. Cousins, good take. Slow handball to Braun. Back to McKenna. Held onto it well to Braun. They're confident, aren't they, the Eagles? Lovely stuff. Reed should have taken it.
White was all on his own if that stays in.
You see McKenna there. I reckon that is the reason. Remember in the first quarter when he kept his feet and didn't dive for it? Well, he kept his feet there and it worked to his advantage. He's always going to try and do that.
Dipper.
Yeah, Corey's struggling tonight, Dermot. I mean, McIntosh plays his players tight. I mean, how strong is he? Both of you guys have played on him.
Yeah, he's got a very strong body and he's quite quick off the mark. He's a bit on railway tracks, though. He runs straight up and down. You've got to just try and veer him off the line a bit.
Well, that's been one of the problems for the Kangaroos tonight. They just haven't got anything out of their big men. Capuano, Burton and also McKernan have been pretty well held.
Unfortunately for the Roos up forward, they haven't really turned the backman around either. I mean, I know they've been done out of the middle, the Roos, and you can only be as good as the ball coming down on as many occasions, but they've been pretty straight up and down.
Djakovic to Gardner. Well, nothing has happened so far to suggest a big comeback, has it?
No.
Gardner to Cummings.
Hip out.
Gehrig at the back. Well done, Pickett, to get a fist away. McCartney to Pickett. Good take. They've been quick on the tackle, West Coast. Pickett got it away, I know, but at least there's the presence at the back. King running hard. Will Morrison cut it off? McKernan's got it.
See that even just before he's marked it, he's turned inside, and that just took McIntosh off the line.
Now, Hewitt kicked a terrific goal before half-time. This is a tougher angle. Same distance, a little tougher angle.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a rap for Evan Hewitt. I think he moves particularly well. A very good kick. Mitchell White just coming off the ground as we speak, but this is a very important kick. At least he's on the best side for a left footer.
Right, he'll kick.
I think he's going to kick it with his right, though.
How am I
It's a
going?
good kick. He's got his second.
All of a sudden, they're just edging their way back into the game, aren't they? Inside 7 goals now with probably a quarter and a half to go. You just get the feeling that if they can get a little bit of a run on, there could be some sort of chance of coming back.
See that view from behind there? That's what I was talking about. McKernan's gone out, and the kick has dictated that he's had to swing in, and that's what I mean by taking McIntosh off the line. Once you can turn him a bit, you've got him half done, then all you've got to worry about is gloving the thing.
Lee Colbert injured a hamstring, missed the Ansett Cup final, then prize recruit the Kangaroos and sitting the first match out. Disappointing start for him.
Oh, absolutely, but he's going to get plenty of value out of him.
Peter Matera, can they go goal for goal here, the Eagles, or can the Kangaroos get a run on? They need it. Stevens free kick.
Once again, Rintoul, who is fantastic for morale. He is fantastic for, like Byron Pickett, he's a good player when he hasn't got the ball. Sometimes just gets a little bit over exuberant. He should have just freed up on that tackle and let it go, but he went right through with it.
Hewitt pushed out. McKenna's handball to Kemp.
Oh, watch him go deep.
Cummings on the far side. He was all alone and he just didn't spot him.
Blakey's got it at centre-half back and he's 300. Sweeps it. Very wide to King. Straightens up. Good kick to Harvey. Just held him up a bit, Gehrig. Harvey to Blakey, who'll go hard and high and long. Box seat, though, was Morrison. Missed it. So did McKernan, unfortunately. Morrison off the ground. Out of play.
I took my eyes up further then and took my eyes off the ball carrier, and I'm watching Carey. He's actually not going for the hard lead. He's really just loitering and trying to do a lead, make a lead of 5-10 metres. Djakovic has basically seized him up. He's stopped him from getting on a hard lead now.
Hewitt, front spot. McKenna read it very well. And rather Djakovic, I should say. That was terrific. Hey, this is vintage Djakovic for the moment, isn't it?
He's moving well. He still hasn't got that full flexibility, but he's halfway between what he was 2 years ago and at his best.
Harvey was sensational. Two West Coast players fell over and he kept his feet and gave it to King. And can the other King take it? Front spot, though, no. McKenna's got it out to Cousins.
There is nobody leading at him at the moment.
The handball. Now this bloke can kick a long ball. Rintoul goes bang to Philip Matera. Uses his body. Pickett goes to ground. Philip Matera's kick 4. Should kick it. Round the corner. Hooks it back. It's got 5. Big play out of defence, wasn't it?
Well, that was almost doing for the Kangaroos what they're well renowned for themselves. They opened up the goal square. They led back towards goal. And if Philip Matera didn't kick the goal, he had Scotty Cummings all on his own for the 20-metre chip out in front. Long penetrating kick coming in from Chad Rintoul. Great use of the body from Philip Matera.
See that view coming up there, though, Jason? I mean, clever snap over the shoulder. He actually had Cummings on the lead, and that should have been the first option. Got out of jail a bit there. I reckon it was the second preferred option. Cummings on that rear shot coming up the ground. After the ball went over his head, Cummings looked at him and said, "What are you doing?"
Led into his vision nicely.
Oh, beautiful.
And
he let him know.
Nicely.
You watch Chad Rintoul, carbon copy. Even though they got away with it, he'll put it out, lace out next time.
Kemp, Banfield in tight. Simpson was good. King tries to go off the ground. Peter Matera.
Gee, they've scrapped it out well, the Eagles, out of this situation. This is where the Roos have been the best team in the league over the last 3 or 4 seasons, and they've just once again out-mongrelled them at the ball on the deck below knee level.
And so many players around the ball here. It's going to be pretty hard to get a clear run. Simpson did the right thing, and Bell runs onto it. Banfield's going to chase as hard as he can. Bell turns. Left handball inside. Ryan Pagan caught up. Banfield's fast handball. McKenna. It's a good kick, McKenna. That's a great kick to Kemp. Played a wonderful match. Stevens almost. Fletcher. Stevens again. Little one inside. Pagan's got it. Centre wing. Kicks to centre half forward. Rintoul's in the box seat. He's got it.
He was never going to dog that one, Rintoul. I'm a big rap for this bloke's courage.
You know he wasn't going to duck his head, don't you?
Oh, no, he's rock solid.
Morrison, Blakey, Archer belts away. Cousins and also Stevens. Stevens close to the line. Handball back to Pickett. They might set it up. A bounce. Casually, good kick. Found his target. Oh, missed. King might have just been blinded. Rintoul. McKenna, danger. Back to McKenna. To Kemp. Wants to give it off. Little one, does it get far enough? Philip Matera wants a free kick, didn't get it. Gardner goes to ground. Back with him, Calthorpe. Philip Matera, Pickett. Calthorpe to Shannon Grant. Down the line. Djakovic hanging on to Carey.
Play on. He's going with it. Clayton.
He's got nobody to kick it to.
No, the umpire. Unless Clayton's taken it out of bounds. No team advantage, so go back to Carey.
The kick to Hewitt. Metropolis. A bit too easy, wasn't it? To half forward. 3 in line. Philip Matera down. So clever. To Gehrig. To Gehrig. Kick across the ground. Gardner just has to sit. Gets it. And with some strength and pace to Rintoul. Off the side. Gehrig still half a chance here. Well done, Archer.
Gee, that was great by Michael Gardner. I mean, he just said, OK, I'm on my own here. I'll take them on. Charged at them. and broke 2 tackles and delivered the handball. Tremendous stuff.
It just looked like the thought process of a younger Alessio then, taking it onto himself. I'm a big bloke. If you pin me, you're going to have to use a lot of physical strength.
Turnbull, Cousins' kick. Oh, Pickett still with him. He won't panic. Oh, he kicks it away. Too far for Stevens. Reed, little chip pass back to the pocket. They've got a couple there. Fletcher and Cousins out of play. So in this third quarter, just 2 goals to the Kangaroos and 1 to the Eagles. So after that free-flowing first half, this is perfect for the Eagles, isn't it?
Well, you sense they've really got the ball up there. There's a lot of players around it. There's not much happening at the other end. Draw out and take a look at it. There you go. That is as far up the ground as they've come. There is no one forward of that position for the North Melbourne Kangaroos.
It's been the story of the night, though. They just haven't got enough ball up there to set a regulation forward line. They've all had to move upfield to try and draw the ball down.
Takes discipline, though, I reckon. You've got to have somebody up there for the contest.
King. Kemp runs him out.
That's clever, that. I mean, the easy thing to do is try and give the handball or just tow it over the boundary line so it... you know, you're playing the safe option. He knew that the tackle wasn't going to take that long to get over the boundary line. Throw in, safe option.
McCartney, Turnbull, gets it to full forward. Oh, nearly Gardner at the back. Cummings getting rid of his opponent. Boundary throw in.
Very clever work from Ryan Turnbull. They almost played basketball with the ball. He slapped it down, got the nice bounce up. And Michael Gardner thought he was Diego Maradona there for a moment. Trying to volley it out of mid-air.
He'll try and go over the top here, Gardner.
Gehrig on his wrong side. He's got pace, though. He's taken them on. And he's going to try and mark his own ball out on the foot.
Gee, I mean, you just can't let the ball get into that zone behind the 2 ruckmen that close to goal. If you're a North Melbourne Roos defender, you can't let that happen.
That's what's in front of Archer. Brings it back. Abraham, can he provide the spark? He's a long way from home. Big long kick. Hewitt's on a long lead. Rintoul was fantastic to get back and contest. Grant's got it to Pagan at centre wing. Hooks it back. High ball. Be pretty difficult to mark. Rintoul went with Williams for the same ball. Harvey goes for goal. It's a good kick. It's a behind. It's a tough one from there.
I've got to say now that Carey's pushing up the ground. He's taking Djakovic with him. No matter where he is, he's always going to be trouble. But because of the Eagles line-up, as we watch him go short in from the full-back position, Hewitt is being picked up by Metropolis. Now, Metropolis can pinch hit on a 6'1 player, maybe 6'2. Evan Hewitt's a big kid. They'll go to him a lot more now.
Metropolis belts it away. Harvey at 50, still paddling. Well played. Runs to the pocket. Still with Harvey. Centering kick. God, brilliantly done by Djakovic. It was Carey's all the way. Back to Pagan. Pagan for goal. It'll get to the square. Bell's going to read it. Evan Hewitt almost. Still with Bell. Bell scoops it up. Cousins terrific. With dash. Comes out of play. 50-50 ball. Peter Matera cops a high one. Free kick.
Well, I reckon he's pretty fortunate there, Peter Matera.
He just didn't look like he particularly wanted to go into the contest there, Dan, did he?
He had 2 hands ready to go up. He saw it and he thought to himself, I'll go 1 hand, keep balance, and keep my feet. And luckily he got a smack across the chops and wins possession.
Turnbull at half-back to Kemp.
He's been solid.
If Kemp and Peter Matera have big years, well, he's going to may give the free kick. Kemp and Peter Matera have big years. The West Coast Eagles can get back to the glory days.
They're in business. They're in business. Good opening umpiring there by Golsping.
Short kick. He doesn't usually cough it up. Abraham lifting his work rate.
That's his biggest error of the night.
It's a good kick by Abraham.
Oh, great move, Metropolis. Even though he gave away the free kick, he left his opponent because he could see McKernan on his own. And what he's managed to do is hold up play. Otherwise, it would have been a 2-on-1 situation.
Yep, that's worked for them big time.
That is a very much a calculated gamble. When you know you can get to the contest before it happens, you take the risk. You make sure you either take the player or the ball.
See what Corey's done there? There's a belief. He's just going for the zone kick here.
Carey, McIntosh, McKenna, Cousins, who's played very deep in this quarter at times, to Morrison, to Matera.
Got Kemp out wide. If he needs him, he can find Kemp.
There's a belief that if you get into Corey and you put him down after any mark, maybe sacrifice the odd 50 metres, he's very slow to get up. The more times you do it, the more times he's thinking how much the body's aching.
Kemp from Matera, a couple of their Norm Smith medalists in 94 and 92 respectively. The kick to centre wing. Clayton now with some space goes straight to Matera. Not happening, is it?
He just didn't take that into account. His weight on the kick to Evan Hewitt was good. He just didn't take into account the Eagles player already there.
Have a look at the loose players here.
Oh, they're going to open them up here.
Gehrig from Cousins.
Oh, Gardner on the outside flank. If you can see him, he's got the drop on him.
Cummings just looking for space, and he just can't find it. They've all run back right in front of him.
Goes wide now to Turnbull. Oh, good mark. He's going to pay it.
That's who I thought it was Gardner. He's taking a breather. It's actually Turnbull. I saw the big loping giant coming down that side. A bit late on it. The good players, that vision, he would have had it out there first up, but he just slow on the pickup. It was outside the line of vision through to the goals.
He is another player that has pretty good penetration on his kicking, so I would suggest he's in range from out there. It's just going to be a question of accuracy.
Good comeback. Didn't play a game last year. 28 years of age.
He's solid distance, easy.
Gee, you're a good judge, Jace. How many have they kicked from the 50 tonight? There's been a few, haven't they? Yeah. Cummings and Gehrig early.
It has been a very impressive display of goal kicking tonight. That's one of the things that will get them home. I mean, that just about seals the match, that goal. But I just thought you can see Cummings leading down back. He can't quite find the space, so they went for the. It wasn't a pretty kick. He went for a wider option. It sat up, but look, McKernan's a little bit out of sorts. McCartney couldn't get there. Just gives him another option up forward, Turnbull, doesn't he?
Well, he's hard to climb over. There's a fair bit of him.
McKernan in the ruck. 11-9 to 20 goals 7.
And Kemp counteracting the equation in there. He's back in the middle.
Gardner to Kemp.
There he is. Under that left hip again. He got to the bottom of it.
Banfield a high one. He's going to get the free kick. It's going to come back. The umpire deciding no advantage with the Kemp kick.
I reckon if I was explaining to a tagging player, I reckon you should just say there is a 3-inch piece of metal between you and Kempy's back, and you never break it. It's sewed to your front, it's sewed to his back at the centre bounces. He's just finding it everywhere. A little strip of material. Just imagine your jumper's sewn onto the back of his. They've got to wear him that hard.
Cousins leads.
I'll tell you what, a very interesting setup then. They all bunched about 20 metres out from goal.
Gehrig's going to go for a 2.
Oh, no.
And drill it through.
Well, that's an insult to Arch, isn't it?
They are just having a night out, the Eagles. But one of the most interesting things was the setup of that. The ball got held up in the middle. Banfield had it. All the forwards basically congregated about 15 to 20 metres out directly in front of goal. Cousins was the first one who led straight up the ground. They all split off at different angles. In the end, and that was look, all he did was hold his ground.
Yep.
I mean, he pushed Archer off very easily. There's nothing wrong with that. He let Archer come in, he absorbed the bump, held his ground, played on, threaded it, made it look easy. This game is over.
Well, what do you do next? It's impossible at the moment. You'd think any one bit of play that would break your back tonight, that was just so easy, wasn't it?
Yep. I reckon Arch would be seething. He knows that if Glenn Archer's getting done like that, it's just not the night. I reckon he'd be going into damage control now.
Dennis Bacon?
Yep.
Abraham doesn't sit. Gehrig, good there. And missing again. So he's had a couple of shots on the run, Harvey, in this quarter, missed them.
I'll tell you what, we've seen a few coaches take up their position in the grandstand tonight. Just have a look at this match, and I get the feeling all of a sudden they might be thinking, hey, we've got another pretty strong team to deal with this year.
This is their first 18, though, isn't it? Yep. I mean, they get a bit thin through the ranks from about 25 down. They can't afford injuries, the Eagles. But I tell you what, if they keep this first 18 or 20 on the deck, they're right in the hunt. I'm going to reassess my evaluation.
Clayton, Bell, Kemp, free kick to Bell. He went to ground and Kemp went over the top of him.
It's probably one of the first mistakes he's made tonight. He was chasing Peter Bell. He just had to back off because Bell wasn't in a position to kick the goal. He had to just, I guess, release a little bit of his momentum just so that he wasn't going to do exactly that. Sprawl over the back of him and give away a free kick.
Check side from the pocket. Across the face. And a behind. It's
20 positions.
Yeah, he's had a fair bit of it.
mean, he runs hard, but you just haven't seen him break lines tonight, Bill. And I suppose that's the support of the players around him to free him and let him run through the lines.
McIntosh to Kemp.
He'll go back here.
Metropolis wide. Decides to kick it hard and high. He wants Peter Matera. Good mark. He's winning the one-outs all the time now, Peter Matera, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Gehrig's domain now. He has to put it in front of Gehrig.
And Clayton cut it off. It's just a bit lazy, maybe, by Peter Matera.
Yeah, they've gone into relax mode now. I reckon the heat's just about gone out of this. They know that all they need to do is keep the defence up.
Motlop. Now McKenna sitting, waiting. He won't make a blue here to Peter Matera. To Phillip, Archer with him. Free kick to Archer against Braun. Hurt him a bit too, the tough fella.
He's not going to act one on you, Glenn Archer, is he? If he stays down, he's worn it. There is nothing unfolding.
Very stagnant in front of him, isn't it?
Yep.
And the big thing that they're not doing tonight now is going to Gehrig. They've either lost confidence in going to him or he's not presenting himself. Here he is.
Yeah, hold.
He's got one. But they haven't done that for 10 minutes, I reckon, go to Gehrig like that.
You're right, Bruce, and I think it's a combination of two things. One, he is not 100% fit. Two, Glenn Jakovich has once again taken the honours tonight. He's
come up the ground, though. I reckon Pagan has actually said to Wayne, get into the traffic, make him think you're playing at half forward now, but get into the traffic and be a midfielder just forward of the centre and leave Evan Hewitt to tower over the top of Metropolis.
Gehrig to go for his second goal tonight. Gets it through. So Carey's got two. Deep into the third quarter now. And they just haven't done enough, the Kangaroos. Have kicked 3, but West Coast has kicked 4.
See, I love watching these battles here. I mean,
fair handful of jumper, too.
Oh, well, they do it to each other, don't they? I mean, that is...
Look at the jumper stretch from Jakovich's left hand.
There is about 32, 33 stone of muscle just grappling for that little zone of about 12 inches where the ball's going to drop into, and that's all important. And if a bit of jumper is needed to get that spot, they'll take it.
12-11 to 21-7.
He's got better out of the centre, hasn't he, Cousins?
Sure has, to centre half forward. Off the ground from Fletcher. Cummings, back, Phillip Matera. He's a dead-eye dick. He's kicked 6. Right on the siren. Well, it's a rout, really, isn't it?
Well, they're in danger of having 30 kicked against them. 21, 22 now with that one ticking over. 22-7, 139. You get 30 goals kicked against you, there are serious problems.
Well, Dennis Bacon, the super coach of the 90s, and it's only one match. We kept hearing Malcolm say that last night again for Port Adelaide, and they did lose 3 of their first 4 last year and came steaming back to win the flag, but it's not 30 tonight. So it's 12-11 to 22-7.
For a bit of match fitness.
Oh, I reckon no heat in the game. Get those match winners off. Put the grunts on, I reckon.
Nearly a 10-goal game at three-quarter time. A remarkable scoreline. If there was going to be a blowout, you would have thought it was a Kangaroos. Bell to full forward. Clayton marks.
He's done well there. He's run back in from the 45-degree angle, done the little hook on the end of the lead and found the space there because Evan Hewitt really didn't read it all that well. Look at it from this angle. See, Carey's come too closely. Evan Hewitt's just held the ground and that's where the space came from. Normally the full forward would just gobble that up on the lead.
Good angle for Clayton.
Good kick.
So they get the first in a hurry.
Well, I guess all they can do at this stage is try and salvage a little bit of pride out of this last quarter. I mean, the one thing Dennis Pagan would be absolutely adamant about is that we don't chuck the towel in. Make them earn the win and at least end the game on a positive note.
Peter Bell there winning that one out of the centre. Haven't really seen him break the lines. We talked about that a few minutes ago. He does once and it ends up with a goal. But it's just a bit of pride, as you say, Jason, and also they go to school. They just test who does what for the Eagles now. Kempy, well, that literally for the Eagles, Kempy's forward of the centre bounce now, so he's defensive side in literal terms. The attacking players at the centre bounce run next to the ruckman.
McKernan got the best bounce, took it out of the air. and then goes long inside 50. Djakovic belts away. Ball comes to ground. Clayton uses Carey. Carey hooks it, and that just would have given them something had he scored there. Behind a Carey. He's kicked 2 goals 2. Scott, Capuano, Burton and Calthorpe. Scott out of business with a hamstring.
Once again, Calthorpe, couple of kicks, couple of goals.
Embley in hospital. So down to 21 there. If you just join us, we believe has a problem with the lung.
Oh, gee. He's kicked off one step and did it float a bit.
That's confidence. Djakovic will enjoy that. I reckon Djakovic will be getting a little bit of enjoyment looking back at this, knowing that he's pulled Carey up the ground.
Yep. They're not even bothering to swap now. Initially, when they first started, McIntosh and Djakovic were swapping on Carey, but now that he's got on top, he's just staying with him full time and really soaking up the confidence.
Fletcher's been good.
I'm impressed with that kid.
To Braun, to Cousins, got a bit of distance. Gehrig and also Archer belted away by Pickett. Gee, Turnbull ran hard and then got a good long handball away. Gehrig can go short. He does.
Yes, who?
It's kick 6.
I've got to say that when Pickett comes out, he is like, I suppose it'd be like a cricketer. You bowl at an attacking batsman. Gee, he looks good. He comes forward. He charges at it. He'll tackle. But, gee, he gives you a chance when they get through the defence, doesn't he? He just gives you a chance to score on him. And he's just charged that initial one and found himself in no man's land. Left Philip Matera. A
good touch from Fraser Gehrig. The one problem when you have a look from behind Philip Matera when he kicks goal, he does have a tendency to run right out in a big arc to the right. He needs just to straighten up.
And he has hooked it just a bit.
I'll tell you what, that is a bag. A forward. 6 is a great night out, a really good, enjoyable night out.
For a non-key forward.
Yeah, 7 is domination.
Yes.
Yep. You're into the big league then.
You can see the disgust on his face when he missed it.
Yeah, he wants that 7.
Pickett to Blakey.
Oh, this is dangerous.
They're just giving him a chance to tackle him here.
Probably should have gone for holding it then, just dropped it in the tackle. Gardner's been very aggressive, hasn't he? Missed it there, but his attack was good. Stevens to centre wing. Mark taken by Simpson. Quickly on to Motlop. Now he can go over the top to Carey or to Clayton. Carey's in the box seat. Clayton, I don't know if he got a call or not, Carey. Metropolis, nice handball to space. Djakovic, strength, well done. McKenna to Gehrig, deep now. This is exciting to see, isn't it?
It was class, wasn't it? Djakovic, he just knew he was going to spin with the tackle, didn't he? He just waited for the tackle to turn him on that one.
Gardner, Stevens, Philip Matera, Ryan Pagan, Blakey. Had a terrific first quarter in his 300th. Long kick from King. McIntosh has been good. Banfield, McKenna. This is training stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Rintoul. Still with Rintoul. Kicks to centre half forward. Gardner. Peter Matera. He's going to work it in front. Decides to go off the ground.
Look at this.
They've got a couple. Well done, Lang. Well done.
He's a good kid, isn't he?
He is. But again, I think that just highlights Scotty Cummings has been pretty efficient on it. He's only had the 4 kicks. He's kicked 4 goals. He's given off a couple of handballs. But he just can't... Look, that was the perfect little chip to have a sit, take a nice big mark over your opponent. He had the run-up. Look at the toe off the ground. He gives it a little bit of air. And I would have thought he was in perfect position to take a nice high mark, and he just couldn't jump over the top of him.
Pagan caught. Grant cut off. Fletcher's been impressive. Kicks it. Well, 7 might be the number. No. What was he doing there?
Rush of blood there.
Should have gone back and had a shot off.
Yep.
Funny in these, Fletcher had 2 options too. He had Philip Matera that side. He had Scotty Cummings the other side. And Scotty Cummings was slightly disappointed when he didn't get the ball.
Tell you what, if you're the kid who kicks the ball there, if it's a more experienced player, that makes you, it decides that you don't kick it to them next time because you feel like you've done something right and the team hasn't been rewarded because of a little bit of a rush of blood.
Archer bursts through, keeps it low. Morrison, the little shove. Motlop, all clever, well done. Brilliant balance.
Nobody to kick it. There's nobody in the attacking 50.
He has to run all the way then.
He's holding the footy. It's a terrific chase by Rintoul. He's having a night, isn't he?
Does he give something, Rintoul?
Cousins to Kemp. Looks up. Just chips around the corner. It's too wide, I think, for Gardner. Just a quick one. Josh Fraser is in a similar position to Michael Gardner was about 3 years ago. Mickey Malthouse has taken his time with Gardner, and he's now got Fraser at Collingwood, who's probably at about the same stage as when he first got Gardner.
I think Gardner's got a tiny head start at the comparative similar stage. Gardner's always had the big frame. Even though he didn't have much flesh upon it, he had a big frame. Is that Reid?
You can see the benefit of the quiet approach to Gardner tonight, I think, don't you?
Absolutely.
He's going to be a serious footballer this year.
Well, he's got some smarts about him too. Philip Reid, I reckon he's like a right-footed Gary O'Donnell. He's got courage. He thinks his way through the traffic. He's got a touch of the nasties about him, and he will do anything for the team.
Kicks it to about 45. Gardner there. Philip Matera. She's having some shots for goal in the last quarter.
It is chocolates time for him, isn't it?
He could kick double figures tonight with a little bit of luck.
He'd want to start zeroing in on it again, honing in on the two big ones. Now they're just giving the Eagles a chance to tackle them here. They're going short, keeping it in the zone. I know you've got to break it up, but gee, they're messing around with it.
Still in that 50.
They've had 3 kicks and they're still in the 50.
And they're just out now with their 50. Nothing on lead from half forward. That's the domain of the half forward. And it's up to Clayton, and he is not going to mark the ball for you there.
Peter Matera to Turnbull to Matera. Gee, Gehrig can go, and he does. Hard to catch Gehrig. Now Cummings.
That's the kick.
Stevens playing deep to Pickett. Philip Reid off and Williams on. Might have been Fletcher actually coming off.
Yeah, Fletcher off.
Clayton. Banfield. Turnbull's been okay. Back to Banfield. Banfield's kick didn't have a lot, but chasing hard was Rintoul, or rather Gardner. Now Rintoul. Now Archer. Good tackle. Back turn by Turnbull. Archer hard. Turnbull okay. Goals are getting harder to get up, eh?
Yeah, a little bit of laziness has crept into the game as well, Bruce.
It's been a pretty hot night too, and a lot of scoring early.
Well, the architects have run out of steam too. I think that helped set it up early.
Free kick going to West Coast. Hanging on. Here's Philip Reid.
Yeah, you'll probably find he'll run out the rest of the game in the middle of the ground, trying to give them a bit of run. Ken Judge had realised someone like Kempy's probably run his steam train out of full out of steam right now. He's just reached the end of the line. He might even go up forward soon.
Bit up and under, but he gets it to 50. Gehrig in there with Gardner. Stevens getting a few kicks in this last quarter. Rintoul front spot.
Well before the ball even got there.
So Harvey's free kick.
That's 50.
And he gets it.
Well, they haven't had much to cheer about tonight.
Just a little bit undisciplined, wasn't it? I mean, you just don't want to do those things when you're having such a great night. You just want to do. You want to dot your I's and cross your T's, don't you?
Well, Harvey's not going to get the journey by foot. Here he's going to kick to the lead.
Kerry worked under it. Bell was clever there and cut off by Peter Matera.
He's got better as the game's gone on, Peter Matera, hasn't he? I mean, he did start well, but you can just see the confidence in his ability to find the ball, read it. And this bloke, well, he hasn't got better only because he was so good early.
Kemp's kick to Metropolis. Blakey back. Archer to Grant. Just one goal kicked in 10 minutes of footy in the last term. Free kick to the Eagles. Hanging on, and Braun's going to take it at centre wing.
I'll tell you what, Philip Matera has chased Byron Pickett out of the forward line.
I'll tell you a good story.
He's gone back and
it's going to go short. Didn't take it. Pickett got back.
Well done. He's run 150 metres there, Pickett.
To Grant. To Blakey.
They've got nothing forward of that. Evan Hewitt on lead up at the half-forward line. He's aimed for him, and it's a terrible kick. He really did need to give that some space and put it right out in front of the smoker stand. That is a terrible execution. That hurts.
Peter Matera to Gehrig. 22-10, the Eagles. 13-12, the Kangaroos.
They're playing out time here.
Fletcher on for Rintoul. Djakovic short. Short again. Banfield likes to burst away. He does. Got close to the man on his mark and he had to kick it up and under a bit. Poor kick. McKernan at half-back.
Fair bit of laziness crept into it now.
Kemp front spot. Good mark at the back, though, taken by King. Centering ball for Grant. Oh, good tackle, McKenna, because he just stood there and he didn't commit early.
Important win there by the Eagles because Peter Matera had to cover Carey at the other end. Cousins moves forward now.
Philip Matera and Pickett.
Great tackle. Super tackle.
Cummings it was. Back to Cam. Hasn't quite got it. He's looking for one. Harvey's handball in close was good. Lang's handball looked awkward, effective. To King. Sweeps it on to Simpson. Simpson at centre wing. Carey short. He goes over the top to centre half forward to Hewitt. At the back, Clayton. Steady. Steady, steady, kicks a goal.
He's given them something up forward last quarter, hasn't he? Just got in and around.
I'll tell you what, the short lead from Carey was only half-hearted too. I mean, I think he's just seeing the match out at the moment. But Shane Clayton has shown a little bit of life up forward. Just gives an extra string to his bow because he's been used in nearly every game exclusively off the bench. He's used as a burst player, but maybe if you can add another string to his bow, apart from playing wing half forward, if he can go forward and kick goals, it might be another option.
Clayton's kicked the 2 goals so far in this last quarter off his own boot.
He's only ever going to come off the bench, though, as long as his body doesn't have a lot of strength in it. If he's got his own position, which he runs to each week, the opposition are going to hone in on him, and he's going to get out strength there. He has to come off the bench and find a place where he can just rely on sheer running, find a weakness where he can move in and out of the equation.
Bill got it from Grant, who took a spectacular mark from Cousins. Djakovic.
Not much of a jump there by the King.
Fletcher. Djakovic was really strong on Harvey. McKenna was trying to suck a free kick.
Gee, Clayton's in some space.
King. Missed by Clayton. Back to Reed. Good smother by Abraham. Reed back. Harvey's little kick's a good one. Fine shoot in the pocket. If the kid goes back and kicks this, he's had a reasonable night, has he? Kicked 2 good long goals.
Done nothing wrong.
Yep.
He's contested well. I don't think the ball's really been turned over on him and taken away from him. Good spot up by Harvey as well. Very easy to miss the target on your wrong foot. Coming forward, and you've just got to touch it forward. You don't have to kick it too hard.
So Hewitt has kicked 2 good goals in this match so far.
Nothing wrong with his action. He might have pushed it a bit.
I think he likes it.
Yep.
So 3 goals to Hewitt. It's been a reasonable return.
You've got to say,
action.
You've just got to think that the Kangaroos have looked better when they've had a legitimate full forward position playing.
Yeah.
Like when he's been there in the square leading out at the target, instead of the old Pagans paddock setup where they leave it open and run back with the ball, they've looked more dangerous. They've looked more likely to kick goals.
Very symmetrical while he's hitting the ball there, isn't it? That's not a bad action for shooting at goal.
Well, they've kicked the only 3 goals in the last term. Surely not. There's too big a margin, isn't there?
No. What do you reckon? Kempy will get this one. Big jump down on the left hip. There you go. That has happened all night. All night he's just run to the big fella Gardner's left hip, and he's just jumped over the top with the right hand. He pulls the ball down to his left hip, and Kempy just sits there. He's got a bit of space. He was gobbled up then.
Burton with the height advantage. Kemp's read it beautifully. Little handball. Now Harvey straightening up. Kicks to full forward. McIntosh at the back of Hewitt. Booted away. Probably a very good play there by Reed. To centre wing. High fly came from Simpson. Kemp going strong. To Peter Matera. Kick out wide to Fletcher, who's impressed all of us. Can't quite get away. Does get a kick in. Kangaroos. McKernan hurt his eye, I think, and might have got a free kick.
Not sure it was an opponent who collected him.
Blakey. Little one to Pagan. Centre wing. Mark taken by Hewitt.
Gee, it is a stagnant forward line.
I'll watch Carey up ahead of it.
The only one leading is Big Spider Burton.
Burton with Turnbull, Clayton, and Clayton's kicked it behind. So he's kicked 2-3 tonight, Clayton.
Kicked the opening 2 points for them, didn't he?
Yep. Down to the left, punt road in. Let's have a look at McKernan. Looked at maybe Lang or Blakey cocked him here. No, it was Cummings.
He just tried to swat the ball and probably brushed his eye.
Quite demonstrative, isn't he? Like for just a little swat. I suppose we don't know how hard they hit. That's coming. That's close.
King
for 1 point.
David King behind.
Typifies the night.
And the North bench, they're pretty sad and sorry down there, aren't they? Shannon Motlop right on the end there had very, very little effect on the game. A lot of talent.
Morrison at centre half back. So the Eagles without a goal in this final term so far. They kicked 17 of them in the first half, including 11 in a remarkable second quarter of footy. Kemp. Had a huge match to Morrison, who's played well too.
When they have control of the game, they really do like to slow it down and chip it around, the Eagles, don't they? They really like playing the possession game.
Gehrig nearly at the line, out of play.
I tell you what, they're so lazy there. I mean, they're so tired. They didn't even bother to look back inboard. They had numbers inside, up the spine, and if they had gone there, they would be inside their 50 right about now.
Burton and Turnbull. Stevens, Big Spider, the handball out. Bell, Matera, still with Bell. Djakovic in hard.
You love that. You've got to love that as a support type player who plays around the edge. When you see the big centre half back come through and take one with him, somebody who just ain't quite over the ball. Ain't quite over the ball, and he just takes one with him. There's no prisoners.
If you get the speed up, you may as well use it. Don't waste the effort.
Kemp.
He's knocked up getting it.
How many times does he want to take it?
30th possession.
Cousins has had it a lot too, hasn't he? Good hands. Fletcher just not quite getting into his man. Calthorpe kicked a couple of goals in the first half. Grant pushes forward to Clayton, having a big last quarter. To King, still with King. David King, wide. Pickett, go back and have a shot.
They had Bell loose, and they just couldn't find the ball with enough, I suppose, just balance that they could look up and have a look.
He wanted to unload King, didn't he? But he knew it would have been smothered if he did on the first instance.
He just crept a couple of metres there. All he tried to, Byron Pickett.
Hasn't kicked a goal in league footy. Pickett's played 52 matches. This will be his first.
Really?
If he kicks it. So let's have a look.
See if we can ride this one home.
You cannot get a better picture than that. You wouldn't expect the ball to do too much in the air from there. He just needs to keep himself nice and straight, aligned with the goals, and kick it like a backman.
He is trying to kick the cover off that.
Dirty big mongrel. Just slewed off the outside of the boot.
If you've got to look at that one from behind again, you'd find his boot has travelled at the left-hand point post, and he's just skew-iffed it.
It's funny, they start off looking nice and relaxed, but when they're not used to kicking for goal, they really do hurry the kick at the end.
You know what I've got to say? He probably thought, oh, the copybook is to run straight at the target. He's a backman, just free yourself up, give yourself a little bit of play on the hook foot, run at the near goal post, and just allow your ability to guide it through.
Turnbull to Matera. This is Peter to Kemp. Those Norm Smith medalists again. Gee, they've been good tonight.
Kemp kicks it so well too.
Oh, great pass.
Gardner couldn't quite take it. He'll be disappointed with that. McKernan high, wide, and not very handsome. Let's go down to Dipper. Nicole Livercoach's down there. Nicole was our Coca-Cola Court Red-Handed competition winner. She went for 36 points, Dipper, but the wrong way.
I know it's 37 points, but the wrong way, Nicole. We can't believe it either.
Nicole would have won $10,000 had she got the right team and the right margin, or within 6 points, 2 grand final tickets. That Coca-Cola competition will jackpot by $5,000 next Friday night. It'll be worth 15 grand for the Kangaroos Melbourne Demons match.
Oh, Dipper, pick me.
So
You've got plenty.
Back to Metropolis. And White, oh no, missed it.
He's out of touch. Not out of touch. He spent so much time on the bench. He hasn't felt the thing for a while.
Have a look at the numbers that the Eagles have got running loose around the ball. They had about 8 of them there.
And here's where the Roos sat back across half-back, and when they rebound it, oh, double him.
Who's he going to kick it to now? Who is he going to kick it to,
An Eagles player.
Who is he going to kick it to?
Can't kick it. He's got to do Phil Manasseh.
There is nobody to kick it to.
Well, he's got Spider Burton crept forward.
He's got to kick long to Spider.
There we go. Spider's in the box seat. Will he get it? He's got it.
I'm going to tell you, poor old Glenn Jakovich, he dead set just trundled back then. Even when the ball was in the air, he had his back to it. He said, yeah, it's coming to Spider. He's got about 1.5 foot on me. I'll lumber back here and see what happens.
Yeah.
There's just not the same urgency in the game as if it was up for grabs, is there?
I think the Eagles wanted the match to be finished at three-quarter time, don't you?
I think no doubt about that.
What price Spider shanking it from here?
Gee, don't wish that on
You
him.
are cruel.
That would do him for a game next week if he did.
Well done.
Yeah. Spider gets one. So, in the end, they've got it back to that 30 points you talked about, Dermot, at three-quarter time, or Jason. Do they just sit on it, and get it back to 30, or they try to go for the jugular?
Look, this is a 30-point win at the moment. Really, when Dennis Pagan reassesses it with his players, he'll say we were a 12-goal worse off team.
Exactly. I just will say one thing about the game, though. Ken Judge want his troops to finish off strong because you can gain very important percentage in the first couple of rounds of the season.
Well, that has been with it a fair bit, hasn't they? Led by 56 points at three-quarter time, and it is down to 31. There's not enough time for a miracle victory. Cowthorpe at 50. Jakovich, well, that probably sums up the competition between the two of them tonight.
You wouldn't say he's been beaten conclusively, Carey, but points have got to go Jacko's way.
No doubt.
I tell you what, it just shows you the aura around Carey. I mean, that first goal in the second quarter, it just stamped with authority, wasn't it?
So little talked about the duel too this week. Normally it smothers all of us and we enveloped by it, but perhaps after this performance tonight, if Jakovich stays in good nick, the next time they play in Perth, it'll be a huge build-up.
Well, when we talked before the game, I still thought that Jakovich had to be the man to go with him. I mean, he deserves the trust of the coach, even though his mobility left him with those couple of knee injuries. He found a bit late again last year. I couldn't believe that people were saying that he wouldn't be the man for Carey this time round.
Peter Matera read it well and then got a lot of distance. Boom's a kick.
He's unloaded that.
Oh, that's holding the man, surely.
All right, look for Philip Matera.
There he is.
He wants his magnificent 7. He's got 6 up. They're getting numbers back in front of him, and he will not be happy with this.
If Mitchell White leads up and he leads back to the square, he can still get on the end of this.
Byron Pickett's playing him 10 metres ahead.
Gehrig goes
Over
long.
the back, over the back, over the back!
I told you.
Oh, no. You can see that coming a mile off. He ducked to the back, and lo and behold, a free kick was given away.
Well, his opponent was 15 further up the ground.
And he's now got the ball, dude, having it bounce up on the outer wing.
He won't want it to get turned over quickly. And it is. McIntosh wins the mark.
And Philip is back on his own. If this kick could get marked, it hasn't been.
No, they're a tied couple of teams out there now. Carey's going to win it out on the wing here.
No one to kick to.
He's got Clayton running. Come at him, Clayton.
Build it away.
The steam train coming through.
Jakovich to Reid. Good stuff. To McKenna. At left hand.
Philip Matera on his own. Philip Matera is all on his own at the moment.
He's going for broke. Gehrig.
Gehrig. Goal. He's had a pretty good night, Gehrig. He's had a big night.
He's a vote getter. There's no doubt about it.
He's kicked 4. And in a strange way, the Eagles sort of needed that, didn't they?
Oh,
just one more. They just sort of needed it.
Just to say that they weren't walked over in the last quarter, even though they've had the big win. Just to say that they didn't stop the walk. I mean, the Roos could have gone away and said, well, they really run out of puff, even though they were a much better team than us. They ran out of puff. But Gehrig, when the heat was on, The ball dropped in the centre-half forwards domain plenty of times, and he answered the call. It could have got turned around from there, gone back to the other direction, and who knows what happens if you give Gehrig enough opportunities, no matter who he's playing against.
I'm looking up the 7 goals for Hawthorn over the years. Dermot, you've got 3, one of them in that grand final in '85. Jason, I've got to about 46 and I'm still counting. it is the measure, the 7, isn't it?
Yeah.
Turnbull. Cummings. Archer back.
That's the difference between domination and a very good night, isn't it? It's that defining 6 to 7 is you've owned it.
Gee, Mickey Martin would have been handy out there tonight, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Burton the target. Ooh, that would have hurt. That would have hurt. Advantage given.
Cummings on the lead. He read that one nice and early.
Look who's calling for it in the square on his own.
He's trying to...
Arms up.
He wants
he beat him.
Get on the lead. Oh, no.
Oh, look, he's entitled to go back and have a shot. He's worked pretty hard. And, Scotty Cummings has found it very difficult to actually find the space to lead into. There's been that many options up forward. It's good to see him get in the game a little bit more. Now, he is operating at 100% efficiency. 4 kicks for 4 goals. And you would just about back him to make it 5 from 5 because he is an exceptionally good kick.
Stays a little bit bent on the left knee when he comes through. But what I like about his action is, if you had the perpendicular look at him to the target, his shoulders are full flush on to the target.
Well, there's a good look of it, nice in front.
You watch the shoulder line when he strikes the ball. See?
Oh, he dropped it terribly and it's coming back.
It's a goal.
He's got a lot of right to left in his natural kicking. That's perfect. He knew where that was going.
You could just see off the boot, he dropped it a little bit ordinary. But one of the keys to goal kicking is if your follow through is complete and straight, the ball normally comes back to the designated spot.
So 5 kicks for 5 goals. And we talk about the 7-goal mark. 5 goals for a full forward's a big mark too, isn't it? Big difference between 4 and 5, isn't it?
Well, if you keep getting 5s, you can just say, I average 5, and it's a true average. You know, to kick 5 every week, that's a great start.
Kicking 4, I always thought, was doing your job. Once you get 5 and above, you've done that little bit more, you can say, yeah, I played well today.
Put it this way, in league footy, if you're a recognised full forward, because there's not that many of them now, if you are playing in a winning team, your bare minimum is 1 1/4. If you're not doing that, the other team are going to exploit you, they're going to run off you, and you're not paying your own way.
What a remarkable victory for West Coast tonight. 8 points shy of their record score ever against the Kangaroos. Only the 2nd time in 23 meetings they've kicked over 20 goals, and they had 17 before half-time. We might have another powerhouse team in the competition already after round 1. We were talking Bombers, Kangaroos and Lions. Maybe we're going to add the Eagles to the list.
Yeah, well, look, we can't get carried away with one performance. I don't think the Kangaroos are going to play that badly again, but certainly
I'm not taking them off the list, Jason.
No,
I might be adding one on.
But when they have their full side out on the ground, the Eagles are a very formidable lineup. It's going to take a lot of player management for them to try and maintain that sort of lineup on a week-to-week basis. But if they do, and we know what sort of advantage it is when you travel over to Perth, they will be right up there come finals time.
Well, Anthony Hudson's down there with Scott Cummings.
Well, Scott, an amazing night for the Eagles tonight.
It was good, wasn't it? You know, new look side, we weren't too sure how we were going to go. We're full of confidence, the boys, but you know, everyone had written us off tonight. No one really tipped us anything, but we just had a good belief in ourselves. So it was a terrific night.
It was like the Eagles of old, wasn't it? Kemp, Matera's, all that.
Yeah, no, I mean, those old blokes, you can't say goodbye to them. You know, they're just terrific blokes, and you know, without them, you know, a lot of the young guys get a lot of praise, but without these senior guys, then I don't think the team's very much.
And you yourself, you had a great year last year. You must have to really work hard to make sure you have another good one.
Just want to do it again, mate. That's all I want to do.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well, Dermot, he's now kicked 100 goals for the Eagles, Cummings. He kicked 95 last year and he's got 5 now. It's a good figure, isn't it?
Oh, he'd be loving it.
What a win. Gee, what a win. That's going to get everybody talking. Bookmaker boards all around Australia are being readjusted as we speak. We'll take a break. Back with more after this.